Good morning and welcome to the Marketing Club. You are also welcome to the room where we talk about things that help you as a business owner understand the value of creating concepts and building systems so that you're not just looking at content for content's sake, but you're also adding value to your business because that is also giving you value over time. So, this is going to be a room that will be talking about email marketing, segmenting, checkouts, and SEO. It's going to be very exciting. Hey, George, welcome. Shah, Arena, Frank, everyone that's coming in. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you all. You are all welcome. I love that we are all here to learn from each other and connect and grow. Candice, you keep popping up to my mind, and I would love to. I'm going to give you a call today, Candice. I'm going to give you a phone call today because I've been thinking about you. Just jumped in my mind. I said yes. So, Candice, thank you for joining. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you so much. And yeah, we're going to be tackling some really cool things today. In fact, I'm going to give you guys something to start off so that you leave here, you leave this room with actually something. Like, even if you don't want to get started, at least you have something to hold on to. All right, I'm going to copy this link and I'm going to put this link at the top of the room and then I'll move it to the chat. So right now, I want you to click it at the top. I'm going to put it in 3, 2, 1. All right. So this link you see here is a link that's going to take you to Flowdesk, Flowdesk. What Flowdesk is, for those who have never heard of Flowdesk, and I think I want to do this officially so that we have an understanding of what we're looking at. And I think maybe, should I do it? Not yet. I'll come back to that. Probably, yeah, I'll put a note on that. I'll come back to it because I don't want to overload with information. I want to give you like a really good insight. So I'm going to write this down so that you guys, I'm going to come back to this. Okay. So Flowdesk is a simple, they even say it on their website, it's a simple and an intuitive, right? Email marketing that brings your brand to life. We have brands, but not every brand has life. Let's get it. And you know what that means? Sales, because sales is, they say, it's a bloodline of business. You know, when it comes to revenue, when it comes to connections, relationships, sales, that's what keeps businesses going, right? Sales, revenue, people, connections, systems, right? Operations, brand, right? So if your brand is coming to life, then you need to think about checkouts, right? Are you checking out? How are you checking out? What's your payment process like? What are you using? I can't decide what to tell you to use, but I'll tell you what I use so that you can decide for yourself. You know, so this is some things I don't want to give you everything because it's going to be a lot. We have a full marketing stack, but this right here, this tool is a tool you will need because you will design email that people will love to get. My unsubscribe rate is about 0.2%. And we send emails close to about, if we look at our email volume, we're tipping about to 1 million in email volume. So think about 0.2% unsubscribe rate from, let's say right now we're at 800,000 plus email volume. Volume meaning that the number of emails you've sent times the number of people that have received it, right? So when you think about volume, it's not just sending one email, 2 emails, 3 emails a day. If that one email goes, how far can it go and how long can it stay? It can stay for a long time. That's why when you send an email, you have to make sure you're testing your email. You don't just send an email. Sometimes you can send an email and you forget one link. You can forget one letter. You can forget one punctuation. Like, that can hurt you. Not because you spelled it wrong, not because of anything bad. You're totally an expert, right? It's just, things happen, right? But you don't want to make those happen consistently, and it has to be as rare as possible. Like, if that mistake happens, it's probably once a year or probably never at all, because you can't afford to make mistakes like that. Hey, Empress, good morning, welcome. You can't afford to make mistakes when you send emails, because when you send an email, you're sending a signal. It's like a message in a bottle, right? You're sending something that's going to alert them, hey, email send. I think I was here last week, Saturday or Friday, talking about my email. You just listen to my replays, you'll see it in the marketing club. Right now in the marketing club, we're really growing. We're tipping at 348K, 0.7K. I'm sure by the end of this room, it will be 348.8K. By the weekend, it's probably going to be 349. It's close to 350K members in this marketing club. And email marketing, I'm going to talk to you know what? I'm actually going to do this. I'm thinking about it as I'm speaking. I'm going to connect. I'm going to see what we're going to do. Connect with the founder of this club, because 350,000 people that are interested in marketing is a big deal. And this app, we don't know what happens on this app. Sometimes we think about intellectual property, we think about business. We're like, why can't we just build something that we can own? We're building on rented property. When you think about your social media accounts, that's rented property, that's shared media. If you really look at it, yeah, you're posting there, but what you're posting with is what you have, which is your video, your picture, your carousel, your Canva image, your anything creating is yours, right? So you're posting it from your local drive to a shared media drive or a shared community, right? You can't post what you don't have. You can't give what you don't have, right? So when you're posting for connection's sake, you're posting for relationship's sake, you're posting for building sake. So when people see that, okay, I'm gonna do this because this is what it's supposed to do. You're connecting with people. You're not just sending out content because it's good. Like if you look at my Instagram, I posted the reviews that we've had, for the last couple of days now. I'm actually not even days, a few days, yes, but over the 3 years, right? And I posted it out just so that people can see it, because I don't usually do that, but someone was like, hey, why not just post this thing? These are things that you're supposed to put out there, let people know, because you're working so much in the back of the scenes and that people are not seeing it. But it's like sometimes it's good to also just clap for yourself sometimes, so that you can also grow, build, and learn from yourself and do some things that can help your business take to the next level. So just by looking at your business, you're thinking about how can you start connecting, how can you start building, and how can you start creating segments, checkouts, SEO products that can really help you with your business, right? So when you look at it from a top level point of view, right, you have to look at it from how can we build email marketing and segment your emails so that you're not bombarding people with emails too, right? Because you can send an email to everyone, which is great, but there's some things that you want to send to someone that makes sense, so they don't leave. Because the moment you start like spamming their account or start sending things they don't want, you start to ruin the relationship, really, because you're not connecting. At this point, you're spamming them. Spamming means that you're bombarding them. You're not paying attention to their needs, because everyone has a need, right? So you have to pay attention to that. If an elephant has a little pin underneath, their hoof, it's gonna hurt, right? So when you take it off, an elephant doesn't forget. An elephant has a great memory, right? So an elephant's not gonna forget that good thing you did. So if you think about the actual little things, that's why I use an elephant as an example. I don't do this, but that's just to bring the point across. Because when you start thinking about connecting with people, you're not sending an email so that you make a sale. Because sometimes people think, oh, if I send 5 emails, I should get 5 sales. It doesn't work like that, because you don't even know what they want to begin with. They signed up for one thing. You may not know what else they need until you ask, or until you offer that as a solution. Because for you to find that solution, you need to know what they're searching for. So, how to build the connection between what they're searching for and what you have is by building a relationship, by posting content back to your website. It's like the simplest ABC formula, but I think we kind of missed the simplicity of the process. You send an email with your domain, right? It's coming from your domain, whether it's Google domains, where you got your domain from, or not Squarespace. But if you have your domain with, Workspace by Google, that's your at website.com, right? Your name at your website.com. That's the default value. Then you are sending an email to the same people who you are using that same email address to send that email to, right? Because you're using a professional email. When they receive that, they're receiving a signal from your email, meaning that your email is coming with a name, it's coming with a title, it's coming with a subject line, it's coming with information, right? So when they receive that, they now feel like, okay, let me see what this email is about. They may have gotten it for the first time and they probably never subscribed to it, but maybe they just looped you in because they felt like you subscribed from another channel, or that's an interest you may have, but you've not had the opportunity to connect, right? Let's say you go to a party, right? You meet somebody you didn't think you connect with, but you guys actually get along. You didn't plan to, but it happened there. So it's like an email. You send an email to someone, oh, I didn't even know you're around. Okay, this is cool. Let me stick around. Let me see what's going on. If you don't like it, you unsubscribe. If you like it, you stay, right? Some people don't even tell themselves to unsubscribe, and you can see it because people want to stay connected, right? So the more connected people want to stay, the better you can segment them, because now you know, if I'm sending you 5 links and out of these 5 links, there are 5 interests, I know that by the time I'm done with these 5 interests, I can build 5 more emails for 5 different segments. That's 5 times 5. That's 25, right? So with 25 emails, I have 5 interests that are talking to the total number of people within my list that I can actually connect with, because I wrote 5 articles, and 5 of those articles had different interests. And out of those different interests, I was able to segment them into each of those buckets. So when I now send an email again, the email goes up. Like, I'll give you a very clear example. I sent an email this morning. This is actually shocking. Let me just tell you guys. So there's a platform called Chatter. I love the platform. And I said, okay, you know what? Let me send an email, because we had a really great time. Some really, really great stuff happened. So before that, I sent an email to everybody, because our list is close to about 7,000. And I sent the email to everyone, and it was a sponsored segment. And I said, hey, if you guys want to read this article, click here. In that section where I said click here, I created a bucket, right? And a bucket means a segment, right? So I created a segment from the big list to say, hey, if you want an invite, if you want to learn, if you want to know more, if you want to understand, if you want to build, come here. And then, or click here. So when you click on it, it now puts you in that bucket. So I did a test, because I tested it and I said, okay, it's going to go into promotions, it's going to go to inbox. Because when you send an email to people, it's either going to their Google or Gmail, Google Mail, let me say it like that, or it's going to their Outlook mail, right? Or their Microsoft mail. So, or their Gmail. So when you look at the 2 different ESPs and you're thinking about, how are we going to get to the inbox, right? You start to really ask yourself more questions now. Like, okay, if we're going to get to the inbox, then we need to do more things in a way that is going to really give you the attention that you're looking for in the most ethical way, but also showing that you have, connections to build. Because, we are, talking about email marketing, because we need to understand how to communicate better. It's a good way to do it, because I've realized I've just been looking at my emails and I'm like, why have I been? I mean, I've not been sleeping on it, but I feel like sometimes when you do things a little bit better. You get better at what you do. You actually appreciate the effort you're making, over time. Because sometimes we don't really look back at what we're doing. We just go, 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 go. But when we go and we do this the right way, there can be so many things we can do, right? So Looking at this email, I sent the email to about, let's say, yeah, close to about 7,000 people. Out of those 7,000 people, and I resent it twice after 24 hours. So to tell you, I sent it over, meaning that was about, let me see, we got about, okay, let me give you the numbers. So we sent it out to 6,991 people. We got a 40%, 40.5% open rate. About 28, 29 people opened it. And then we had a 29.4% click rate, which is about 2,052 clicks. So that's about 2,052 clicks, right? That's total. That's the whole email. That was not the only link available. So out of those clicks, I had 79 people. So let's do the math, because I also want to show you like how it works from how I see it. I mean, everyone has their own process, but I think it makes sense when I look at it from a different place. So that, if I do a click-through rate for myself, if I calculate the click-through rate for myself based on who clicked on the actual link that led me to the next email I sent this morning, I had a 3.85% click-through rate from this one email I sent. So there's a 40%, actually no, there's a 29.4% click rate. Out of that 29.4% click rate, I had a 3.85 click rate to the exact segment that I created for that specific link. So out of that, I had 79 people that signed up or pretty much weren't interested from that email. So I resent the email this morning. Guess what? I told them, hey, you guys, if you're not ready, I'm going to expire this. And I mean, it's going to be expiring soon. So please make sure that if you're interested, if you're still interested, I sent that email when? That email was, today is July 25th. I sent it July 19th. Yeah, at 3:33 p.m. Yeah, Central. And after sending that email, crickets. I said, okay, all right, that's the first try. Then second one, then I think it was yesterday that I actually got one person responded back and actually texted me and said, hey, I would love to get the invite. I got it in. I got her in. And then I had another friend who was not even on the email list, but she wanted to know about it. She got in. And then the other people who have also got in too. So when I sent that out, right, the next thing that happened was I now sent it to 79 people. Out of 79 people, there was an 84.8% open rate and also an 84.8% click rate. So out of the 79 people, 67 people clicked through it. So that's 67. Now I'm able, and none of them unsubscribed from that email. It was 100% email delivery and it was equal. So people have clicked through it, and I can also see the downloads, how many people have gone through it. So if they're going to be interested, they're going to say, let me know. So that alone has already told me, okay, if you want to connect with people and segment, that is one thing you can do. Because if you're interested in events, that's the same thing I did for the event we're going to be having, right? The event we're going to be having, I'm going to share the link with you so you can see it, because this is also something that we're going to have up until the weekend, and then we're going to close it out so that if you want to join and be part of it, we're going to have a great time. And we have a few people in there, which is perfect. It's going to be a really deep dive study, and all of us are going to really learn how we can build and what we can do with events and our marketing and our structures. So just by looking at how you create your business, how you actually earn your time back, when you think about email marketing, there is so much you can build from if you just focus on building those relationships. If you just build those relationships on an easy scale, on a one-to-one scale, you're not forcing it. It's not something, hey, come buy now. If you don't buy now, you're gonna lose out. No, you don't want to do that. Nice to meet you, Lauren. Good morning. Just giving you a follow. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. And thank you as well, Rohit. Thanks for being here. Got to connect with you. And also, Claudia, thanks for being here. Just give you a follow too. Yeah, because I like to connect with people on the app, and you never know. This is a big room. Welcome, Jason. So you think about the value you're giving, right? Like it's come to a point where I feel so like, this room might be, for an hour, for 2 hours, I don't know, because my next call is in the next 2 hours. So I have some time today, this morning, to really like go deeper into this. And I know a lot of people are still waking up. It's early, so I said, let me kick it off early, because I wanted to just talk about this one time and then send it out, let people hear it, because our podcast, we don't play. Our podcast has been ranked at top 3% globally by listen notes. So I put the link in the chat, so please click in the chat. You're going to see on your bottom left corner, you'll see the link. I put it there, and that link will take you to the podcast channel where you can subscribe. We have over 383 podcasts out, and we have over 150 episodes yet to be released, which is going to roll out very soon. And now we're on YouTube, we're on iHeart, we're on Alexa, we're on Spotify, we're everywhere. So it's been a blessing to see like 5 years next month, just doing this heavy and just going at it consistently and actually showing up in an international way. Because when you think about your content, our email list is so widespread. Like it's not just one country, it's a whole world. Like we have people from Poland, from Australia, from India, from Turkey, from Nigeria, South Africa, like, and then all over the US. Like, it's crazy, And I did the numbers one day. I was like, I talked to about 20,000 people a week. If I use all my socials together, combined, talk less of email, which could bump up to probably 30. So you think about how you connect with people and how many people are hearing you on a 52-week cycle, on a yearly cycle. It's not easy to always just, put out content. I say content is king and context is queen. Because when you listen, you do better, because you act better, you think better, you process better, you plan better. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That's one thing I learned back in elementary school a long time ago, 101. I heard that statement one day. I think somebody came and he had a talk. I think one of this great, orators, like really great guy. And I listened, I was like, that is really dope. It sounds so simple, but it's so complex too. People don't plan. You have to plan for things. You have to write things down. You have to process. You have to think. When I was on my last, 3-hour flight, I the last one was a few weeks ago. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to read this book called Sell Like Crazy, right, by Sabri Subi. And I got that book off an ad that he ran on Instagram. And I said, yeah, I'm gonna get this book. And I got it. I didn't go on Amazon and buy it. I actually went through the experience of going through his process. Because I was like, this is cool. He's from Australia. He's doing it big. A lot of people don't know him, but he's doing it big, because the people who know him, yeah, they know. If you're in that business world or tech world, you'll know him. And I said, yeah, let me read it. I read 30 pages of that book, because I'm always reading the book. I'm just like, taking it in, because I'm always in go mode. So I read 30 pages of the book. It was a 3-hour flight. I spent 30 pages, if I can think about pages spent. So I spent 30 pages, if I can put it like that, right? Reading. And after reading it, I wrote copious notes, which allowed me to structure my whole 2025. That's why I'm here talking about email, because I have about thousands and thousands of more ideas that I've put out together. I've really created like a 52-week calendar, but at the same time, I've put things in between that can still stretch it out times two. So I can have a little bit of July into the next July and still have enough to, December 2025, God willing. So there's a lot of things we have to think about planning. And I'm like, hey, if we think about Apple, Tesla, Amazon, all these big companies, and you want to think big, if that's what you're thinking about as a business, if you're thinking big, then think bigger, because these companies think in decades, right? They process in decades. That's what I see. That's what I watch. That's what I look at. Psychology and marketing, all this is clean marketing, ethical marketing. You can go guerrilla marketing if you want to, but it still sends a message, right? I was looking at this Deadpool 2. I was looking at it. It's so cool. The Deadpool movie. I was looking at how they have the yellow and the red, and they actually partnered with Heinz because Heinz has yellow and red. So yellow mustard and red ketchup. So they both. It's so cool. I saw it on LinkedIn. It was so cool, and it's like that's creative marketing, right? The fact that I can remember that vividly and tell it to you without expressing myself too much, and you can actually picture it on your own. You can actually see that if you know the movie, and you see a billboard side by side, maybe diagonally placed. mm, that's deep. You know what I mean? So you can think about your stuff and think about how simple people can think about you when you connect with them. It's an international app. So that's why I have this workshop out here at the very top. We have this workshop, it's a virtual workshop, 90-minute workshop. It's going to be next week, July 30th, and you're going to spend 90 minutes with me and the people that are going to be signed up. We have about 7 of us plus me 8, and when we hit a number, it's going to cap off. So please, if you want to join, get in here. It would be great to have you join us for sure. It's $47. Once you request to join, you'll be in. And once you're in, you're going to get all the tools. I'm going to give you 7 tools, AI tools, not chat GPT and all these things. Those are great. I'm giving you tools that are going to change your life, tools that are going to make you stop doing work and stop acting like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. No, we're getting to a time now that we are building a new system. And if you're not incorporating artificial intelligence into your system, I don't know what to tell you. So I'm giving you 7 tools you can use SEO wise if you want to start a podcast, if you have an email list, if you want to build a business. If you have a business, if you want to scale your business, if you can use podcasting for your business, incorporate LinkedIn to your business branding model, that this is going to be the room for you. This is going to be the place for you. So click the link up top and you'll get in as well. You have all the tools that you need that we can be able to process for you. And you'll have questions. You'll definitely have questions. And I'm excited to answer those questions because when you get those answers and you have those replays forever, it's gonna be so so great. Yeah, Candice is gonna be there. Yeah, I can't wait for Candice to be there. Candice is amazing. She's so amazing. So yeah, I know that sometimes you're like, I don't know if I want to do this. Sometimes you just have to do it. Like if I didn't do it, I wouldn't be 5 years into my podcast next month with 300 plus episodes. It's not easy to reach that number in 2024, where everyone is starting a podcast. I think in 2020, everyone was starting a course. So I have a Pinterest course. I have an SEO course, and those courses have been taken by people, and they've started their own businesses. So I'm like, I don't know what people are waiting for, and time is not waiting on us either. So if we just decide and say, hey, this next few months for the rest of the year, I'm going to focus on this, do it. You'll be so amazed at what you've done that you look back and you've actually appreciate yourself. You'll be like, man, I actually tried, did this. This is what I did. Look at what I did. Like, who's not happy for what they did? Think about like, I was telling a friend of mine, I was like, imagine if your child, gave you a like a drawing, painted a drawing, spent like maybe 3 hours drawing it, and then came to you and say, hey, mommy, daddy, look at this drawing, and then you tear it up. That's gonna break the child's heart, right? Because you're not even expressing love. You're showing a resentment to that, as opposed to having that 3 hours rewind and you think about the whole structure and you're like, hold on, let me think about it again. And then you're like, okay, you look at the same thing, 3 hours has passed by and your child has now come and say, hey, look at what I made. And you look at it and you're like, oh, this is so, so cool. Wow. Like now you can actually add color to their day, and that creates something that activates the reticular activating system in the brain that now keeps that retention of, yes, I can do it. Yes, I heard that before. So it's now translating into powerful thought processes, right? So if you think about thought leadership, then you're building into something that people can do, right? I can have a podcast and say anything, right? I joined Clubhouse because I have a podcast. I didn't join Clubhouse because I was looking for the next app to jump on. I was already doing my podcast. That was already a year in 2019, August. I just started my podcast. I said, hey, August 12th, welcome, Austin. August 12th, 2019. I said, I'm going to start a podcast and I'm going to do it. And when I do it, it's going to be done. And when I get it started, I don't know what's going to happen. And I was like, let's go. And I think what really made me pump it up a little more is because I didn't let myself get boxed into one topic. Because a lot of people start a podcast and they want to talk about one thing specifically to the point where they forget the whole message. That's what I mean. If you talk about the same thing over and 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 over again, it gets to a point where the person wants to leave because you're not telling them anything new. There's nothing fascinating. You're just repeating yourself in a different way. That's insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. That's the definition of insanity. So don't be insane thinking about what you're trying to say rather than planning how to say things and then diversifying your portfolio, right? Tapping into different resources. I can talk about SEO all day, but no one wants to hear me talk about SEO all day. Some people do. I don't want to talk about SEO all day. I want to incorporate life practices, best practices that you can apply that involve SEO that don't have to make you start thinking technically, but rather think creatively because we are creative people, right? God made us to create, right? So procreate, create your thought process so that your thinking goes beyond yourself. Can you make something that your family can benefit from? Can you make something that your kids can benefit from? Can you make something that your next generation can benefit from? Whether it's a word of advice, whether it's a story, a grandma's story, dad's story, mom's story, grandpa's story, your favorite friend's story, someone's story, your story, right? His story. Like, think about her story. Everybody has a story. So your story should show somewhere as a business. And it's hard. I mean, trust me, it is super hard. In this saturated information, boom, boom, everything is just all over the place. Yeah, it's cool. That's good. It's because it shows that we are people who are actively looking for information. But guess what? 8.5 billion searches a day are happening on Google daily, daily, daily. Think about that word, daily. In 24 hours, people are spending that. I love that quote, Amal. Thank you for joining. It says, man is least himself when he talks in his own person. Give him a mask and he will tell you the truth. That is interesting. That's very, very different, but you think about building connections with people and you start looking at your your true being, right? Like, how do you connect with people? How do you respect people, period? Because everyone wants to be respected, right? Nobody wants to be disrespected. That's the last thing you want to do to anybody, right? Because you want to show respect, you want to show kindness, you want to show good things so that good things happen to you, right? It's the law of reciprocity, right? You give more, you receive more. That's why I'm on Clubhouse talking to you, telling you things, helping you, building with you, showing you things so that you cannot just think about one thing, right? So when you think about your business, especially with SEO, when you think about, checkouts, think about segmenting, think about email marketing, your question should be, how can I create content that if this content goes out as an email, right? Someone can see this email, they can read the email, they can click on the email, they can act on the email, they can respond to the email, and they can learn from the email. If you can do that every day and do that consistently, you're going to be at a good place every year because you're getting better 52% a year. Because if you're thinking about 1% a week, or you want to think 365% a year, It's up to you, right? So how you process things matters. And when you build your business from the ground up, you start thinking about your intellectual ability, right? Like, what do you start processing? What do you start thinking about? Who is your target audience? Why is your target audience in that position? Who are they talking to? Like, if you start to know where your audiences are, the way you even show up changes, because the way you speak, the way you type, the way you talk, the way you say things, it changes. You can't be talking to a big corporation, saying something, in a different way. It's going to sound different. Imagine talking to a C-suite level and then talking to, you know, another level, or talking to something different, or someone different, or something in a completely different society, or something completely different completely from what you're used to speaking on, meaning that you're attracting new audiences, but in completely different locations. Welcome, Anisha. Glad to have you here. We'd love to connect with you if you're available. We'd love to know about. I signed up to your email marketing list, by the way. I saw it. I said, boom, I got to jump in. So thank you so much for sharing that. Love to have you here. Yes, yes. So, when you think about email marketing, you have to think about how you type. How do you say things? What do you say? How do you connect? How do you segment? Right? Because those segments get you to a position where you're able to build. And that building grows into something that's really good. And let me just give you an example of why for me it's actually changed. And I'm going to change the link as I'm saying this too. So please click that link above, or you can, save the replay and you can come back to this. Because what I started to notice just by looking at the content we've been, putting out for a while now, I just thought about it and I said, okay, we need to help people get to their results faster. And I started thinking about how best can I say this to people in a way that is very professional and it's also very, convenient for them. So that even when I'm sending emails or sending messages or sending reports or sending things, they can get it in a very, I mean, it's not like it's not working right now. It's just that you always want to get better. Always want to get better. That's how I always want to do it. Like, how can I trim the fat? How can I, divide your time in half and multiply your impact, by double, So creating that has been benching me into a whole new framework now, whereby we decided, like, because I've been speaking with my team and we were looking at different things, especially the one I talked with. She's in South Africa, and her name is CB, and we spoke and we connected on LinkedIn. Actually, she found me on LinkedIn, sent me a message. I was like, "Oh, this is so cool!" So I gave her a call, and we actually spoke on the phone, and it's been great, with her. So just giving you one example of the one of the people I talk to and or we work with, because I don't really talk about my team a lot unless we're in the mix. But just to give you a little inside scoop, I talked with Sibi, and this was 2 days ago. Yeah, this was 2 days ago. And she was saying that, like, when you think about emails and connecting with people and building relationships, she was more of like, okay, favor, let's think about brand partnerships. And I've been thinking about that too. And because she's worked with Trace TV, like she's done all those things with, TV media. So she knows her stuff with film, right? So she's working with the media and entertainment industry. So I'm like, yeah, that's perfect, because imagine being on TV, having brand partnerships in real life. Yes, you have emails, yes, you're showing up online, but you have impact offline, so that when people are connecting with you, they can come back online and find your content in a digital experiential way. So I was like, yeah, we can pull those things together. And then another guy, one of my other on the team, his name is Emmanuel. He's in London, and he was like, yeah, favor, we need to also think about like UX, UI, like, because we're also doing that too. And we're incorporating that for like mobile apps, for web, yes, it's SEO, but how do you create like UX, UI? How do you create like websites that are really like so top notch that you have to actually use wireframes to build them. So I was like, yeah, let's go. Because I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. So I have all these people. That's just two out of, we're nine plus myself. So there are six others, right? And then there's 12 AI. When you look at all these numbers, right? We were like thinking about it and we're like, well, this is a hyper class activity going on, because I'm like, yeah, we need to help people understand that when you send an email, that email has to hit home. Like it has to hit the inbox, because some people's inboxes are full to the point where you can't see them. Like you need to know your analytics. You need to know what time people, show up for your emails. If you send an email at the wrong time, you're missing out. People say, oh, send an email an hour into the day, or when's the best time to send an email? Any time is the best time to send an email, but that time depends on how you spend time with them, because you're nurturing them consistently. You're nurturing them frequently. You're nurturing them experientially. So when you're segmenting emails, you're not just segmenting an email because you want to say something. You're saying something because you have a time bound activity going on. So I was talking with clients and with our team, and I was even asking them, hey, you know what? We have to think about our turnaround time, because one of the things that we can't get back is time, right? So how much time do we spend with one person, with one client doing one thing to get one accomplishment done to achieve one result? Like what is a one of one? Like that's what we look at now. We don't look at, oh, we have these moving parts. Yes, there are so many to the point where the train doesn't start, and we don't want to be train wreckers, right? So we created a system now that says, hey, if you're working with you for this amount of time in a month, if this is the investment and the time as opposed to this other one for this other time, then we know where to give priority. We know how to prioritize tasks. So we know, okay, if this is going to launch off 2 hours before time, let's start with this one first before we go to the next one, because this is going to take 4 hours. So let's start with what takes less time and let them get started so that they can actually get the results over time. So when we go to the next line, we're building it. Later today, I'm talking with I'm talking with Pinterest, three people that work at Pinterest, because they sent me an email. His name is Seth, and I wanted to, connect with him a little further. So I said, okay, let's get on a call. So I'm going to connect with him and two other people, because our Pinterest accounts for our clients are also doing so well, and we want to also scale that because we're getting into the holiday season, right? We're getting to the end of July. August is nearing, holiday season. Q4 is coming. What do you have online? Is it a podcast? Is it a book? Is it a guide? Is it a PDF? Is it a blog? Is it a newsletter? Are you on social? Where are you? So that when they're looking for you, they can find you, they can click through to you, and they can save you, right? That's the goal. You're saving them time. They're saving you convenience, right? Because you're conveniently sending information to them that's allowing them to save time with you, so that you're conveniently building relationships that are nurturing over time. Like I get email signups from New Zealand, from Netherlands. Like this morning, I saw someone, I don't even know which country she's in or he's in. I can't tell that because I don't see all those things. But when I get to see the actual name, I'm like, oh, thank you. I see those names. And we don't run ads for our business. We don't run ads. That's a great, we've been in business for 10 years, a decade now plus. I think it's tipping on 11. And we don't run ads. Like I can't show you an ad I'm running. Hey, this is an ad we're running to get clients. We don't do that. It's organic. It's SEO. And I highly thank God for the ability to still go on with podcasting, because that's what really brought in the wave. To be completely honest, I think a decade into it, I was like 5 years into my business. I was like, we got to do something. Like I need to jump something. I can't be on social media posting. Like those days when you used to post 3 times a day, 2 times a day, those days are gone. So I said, we got to do something that stands the test of time and create timeless content. Timeless content. I think I'm probably going to do something on that. Timeless content. Because when we post content, what are we really posting for? Like, really answer that question. Timeless content. Like, what are we posting for? We're posting for the person that sees it, right? To do what? To react to it, to like it. Welcome, Katrina. to like it, to process it, to build it. What is their goal? It's timeless content, and you have to be contextually relatable to have someone make an informed decision about your brand, because your brand has life, and that life has something to say. I'm saying I have a product, I have a solution, I have a service, I have a business. If you have a business, you're providing a solution. You're not in business to just sit back. You're in business to provide a solution. And the exchange is the currency, whether it's digital currency, whatever currency, fiat currency, you're exchanging something in value in exchange of time. Time and money, which one do you value more? It's always a big discussion. I value my time. That's why after last year doing 300, 400 hours of Zoom calls, I said, I'm not doing that again. So this year, we've built a structure where you can spend an hour with me a month, 2 hours with me a month, 4 hours with me, or 8 hours with me a month. And in those months, the scope of work that we'll do will be so heavy that you wouldn't even need the time to be on a Zoom call to make those things happen. Because the whole point of a Zoom call is to record meetings, create structures, build systems, operate, delegate, translate. You know what I'm saying? Build. We're not here to talk on Zoom forever. Like I don't want to waste your time. So I thought about it. I said, I'm not doing that again. If I want to be on Clubhouse for 2 hours, great, because I know today my schedule is pretty open because I've created a time. It's good. You're building into that time. So when you start thinking about your timeless content, you start thinking about your connections, you start thinking about where you're building, it changes. So now our policy is changing from next month, from August 1st. All the invoices, they're all expiring if they don't, the ones that didn't fulfill, some are fulfilling today, tomorrow, like it goes, some don't fulfill, some waste time, some think about it, some come back later. I said, now I figured out what's going on. People value their time, but they don't invest the time to spend the money and the time to get the value they need in exchange of what they're needing as a solution, because they are overthinking the process and not focusing on the 1-2 step formula, which is what? Email marketing, which is what? Intellectual property, which is what? Contacts. If you don't have contacts, you can't create content. Imagine if you create content for 0 followers every day, how are you going to feel? So think about it. The people that you're posting to or posting for are people that are going to connect with you. So you're either going to connect with me for 15 minutes on a call, and then the next time you're going to get on a call, you're either going to spend an hour with me and pay a consultation fee, or spend 90 minutes and pay a consultation fee, or want to actually work with my team, and then we give you a bundle fee that allows you to save money and time so that you don't have to keep paying that consultation fee every time. But some people just want that one time. So I'm like, all right, bet, here you go. Because I realize I don't want to waste your time, because sometimes we're spending on calls 2 hours, 3 hours. Oh, I'll call you tomorrow. And now I'm chasing you down for your problem that you want to solve. I'm not doing that anymore. And I thought about it, and I thought through, and I said, yeah, this is the only way we're scaling. Yeah, we've done 6 figures, year over year, but we want to scale up. We want to build systems, and that's what's happening right now. And it's working. It's a blessing. I feel that's why I'm on Clubhouse, because I can talk here, get meetings done, delegate. We have a whole team. We're international. I wake up, tasks are done, approvals are sent, invoices are paid. Like, there's a system. I don't have to be on my feet, on my toes, on my eggshells. Like, it's stressful. Starting a business is stressful. Entrepreneurship is stressful. So now I'm like, hey, all right, this business is a passive income streaming business. Why? Because I've created systems. Now I can create music. I can create jingles. I can create original music for podcasters so that they can start a podcast. I'm on Threads, I'm on Reddit, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm in groups, I'm on Facebook. I'm seeing what's going on in social audio, and I'm creating products that can solve those problems. So people connect to me. I see, oh, this person signed up from this place, from that place. I'm like, wow, okay, thank you. Because I realize time is precious, and I can never waste someone's time. Right? So that's why I said, hey, I'm going to wake up early. I'm usually up 4 a.m. That's why I'm here. I've been here for about an hour. What time did I start this room? 7:30 a.m. Central. So we're close to an hour in, and I'm probably going to do another 30 minutes to an hour. So before my next call. But what am I saying? I'm doing this because I'm documenting my process. I'll put this on a podcast. People can hear me 10 years later from this one episode. Like, think about your timeless content, intellectual property. We're getting to a time where with AI, everybody can write a blog. Oh yeah, SEO is dead because I can write my own blogs with ChatGPT. Cool. Go ahead. I love that. Please, let's go. Everybody is where we can do this together, right? But would it be better for you to actually not do those tasks and approve tasks that are being done by experts so that when you look back at your report card after 90 days, you can actually contribute to your success? Let me give you an example. There's a company we're working with, right? They're called RBY Prints. Amazing guys. They do printing, they do B2B services, and they're also, they print for companies, right? For businesses. And they print out like commercial shirts and all these things that you see, like restaurants, insurance companies, just really good, so they build for businesses, right? Hotels and everything. And they've been in business, though. They've been in business, so their business is booming. Like, they're making sales, like business is good, right? So I told them, hey, I love that you're making money, but imagine how much you could be making when you're not even looking for the people and they're looking for you. And I got a referral. My friend referred me to them. He said, hey, talk to Favor. He's going to help you with your SEO. And that's how I got to connect with them. We started working in March. By, was it June? Yeah, by June, because April, May, June. We usually take about 3 to 6 months, because people ask, oh, how long is SEO going to work? We realistically tell you it depends on your business, it depends on your industry, it depends on how much we work, it depends on the payment structure that you pick. It depends on a lot of things, but what you'll be guaranteed for sure is within a 1 to 6 month cycle, you're going to see an increase in your business as far as discovery, reach, and sales, depending on how your structure is too, because your structure has to make sense for someone to come in. So if you're already in business, then that's not a problem, right? So by June, we were on a Zoom call. I can't forget this day. We were on a Zoom call. It was a Friday. And I was like, hey, how's business going? Because I'm not there. So I always like to ask questions when we work with clients, whether we're overseas or, if it's in another state. Sometimes we fly to the state, if we want to connect, which is a beautiful thing. We travel and work, right? So I asked, hey, how's it going in Atlanta? What's going on? Anything? Because I was looking at their Google Search Console, because when we started working with them, the first thing we connected with the Google Search Console. And then we started breaking down their SEO, trying to make sure that they're actually being seen on the web. They had a website, but they were not connected to Search Console at all. And they've been in business. So I'm like, you guys are already missing out on so much data. That's the first party data is what you're missing, meaning that you're missing on intellectual property. That's the first problem. The second problem is you're not even being seen or indexed. So anything you're showing up on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, yeah, get your authority there, but there's nowhere to point back to, because there's no source file. There's no Google standing. There's no indexing going on. There's no structure, right? And you need structure as a business to sustain competitively and win, right? As well. So I gave him all those details and he was like, okay, let's go. We started working. By June, we got on a call that Friday afternoon and I was like, hey, how's business going? And he's like, yo, Favor, you wouldn't believe it. People called us on Google. And I told him, anytime, if anybody calls you, I gave him I kind of warned him or kind of gave him a disclaimer, because I love to hear that feedback, because it helps us know how to feed back into the community, right? So I told him, please let me know if you ever get a call from Google, if something happens where they reach out to you or they walk in, because they have an actual brick and mortar. If anybody walks in or anybody's asking for your business on the phone, on email, wherever it is, social, ask them how they found you, because that's how we're going to know how more people can find you from the same well, from the same pool, from the same area, from the same zip code, from the same space. Because when people are purchasing with the zip code attached. So we go into zip code analysis, zip code marketing, zip code planning, like it's a whole deep dive. So ask them those questions, because your data is where your dollars reside. So I said, okay, cool. June comes, he tells me about 3 people reached out, and those 3 people actually came in and they actually spent money and they actually left a couple $100. That was the first, like, cha-ching, like that was like their first Google. If I think about like a Google referral attribution, that would come from Google organic search, right? It's not a lot, but it says a lot, right? From there, it's gone. That was June. We're in the end of July. Right now, we're rebuilding their website. We're rebuilding their structure because they actually need a new interface. Because we've gotten some feedback from from customers saying, "Hey, your website is too busy," because we picked up a website that was not built correctly. So we have to kind of fix the problem to scale the business. But we're still getting business with a website that still needs fixing. If that makes sense. So SEO is not like a one-time fix thing, right? And this is within a month. So we kicked it off with them in May. By June, they're already making money, right? We're now at the end of July. I was talking to him and he was in Puerto Rico, and I think he was doing some t-shirts for some company there. Now, August, they're about to have a kids summer, summer to a fall, charity event, which is really exciting. So we're also going to help and build communities, by building out, getting t-shirts, helping people. So it's a great thing to do. I love doing this, helping people through that extension. So we're using SEO to push their business. Now he's getting contacts from his it's so crazy. He's getting contacts from Google, and those people are coming back because he was telling me that, Favor, we had a call yesterday. He's like, Favor, if we're not having retainer customers, our business is done. It was not ABC. It was simple as black and white. If we're not having retentive customers, if we're not having retention with customers, our business is done. Like, that's the if then clause, right? So if this, then that. If this is not, then this happens, or then that happens. So, and they're in business, right? So all we did was enhance it. Not like, oh, we're the reason why your business is not working. They've been in business, they've been making money. But what we did was we enhanced what they're making to increase their profit margin and expand their business beyond just the ordinary. So what my point here is, and what I'm saying is, as you're building your business, you have to think about segmenting, because you have to know where people are coming from and where people are going to. If people are coming from somewhere, I know where they're going to. Like for me, I know my top listened to podcast is city, is San Jose. Why? Because I've seen that. And then San Francisco is kind of like second. It's that they're just borderline. They just play like they're just literally 5 and 6. They're just close to each other because I always see it happening. Why? Because we bring highly intellectually advanced professionals with professional etiquette to the We Don't Play podcast show to talk about their business, their story, their life, right? And they spark influence, they spark light. And a lot of people listen to the podcast. How I got to know it was I don't hear it every day. This is why I'm so confident in what I'm saying, because I don't hear it every day. Sometimes people tell me, hey, I was in the grocery store and I was listening to your podcast. Somebody in Poland, when it was July 4th, I had an episode with someone that's in Poland. His name is Roy. Great guy with business, right? He has a multi-million business in Poland, right? He's worked with all these companies, Apple, Nike, and our episode is not out yet. So you'll check it out and see. And connected with him, and he was like, hey, you guys and we was on the call like before we recorded. He was like, hey, what's up, Favor? Nice to connect with you, man. I listened to your podcast and I love what you're talking about. You guys are having your 4th of July Independence Day, right? I was like, yeah, I'm in the US. Like, where are you at? Like, oh, I'm in Houston. Where are you at? Oh, I'm Irish, but I'm also in Poland. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, from nowhere. That conversation started from nowhere, just because I had a podcast saying, hey guys, happy 4th of July. That was an episode I did, and he listened to it. I didn't think anybody would listen to it. That's what I used to think, but now I had to stop thinking like that, because people are listening to this podcast. My podcast is top 3% globally. So I can't be thinking no one's listening. I can't think that. So what I'm saying is, when you're creating content for people, it got to be timeless. It has to make sense, and it has to be relevant. And then your relevance comes from placement. It comes from segmenting. It comes from SEO. The titles. How do you title your words? Nowadays with our podcast, what I do is we put out the most let me put it like this. We put out the top 10 questions that the podcast had, but those questions are rhetorical questions for you, the listener, to look at or reflect on while listening to the episodes. As I'm speaking to you, I'm getting some follows on Threads. So thank you for following. So people are following me everywhere because this morning I've posted a couple of places. And then yesterday a friend of mine was telling me, Favor, I see you everywhere. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, I see you everywhere. You're on my Threads, you're on my Facebook, you're on my I'm like, what? I'm like, I don't even see that myself. I'm like, yeah, TikTok, yeah, that too. I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm just doing little things, like little drops in the ocean. I'm here on Clubhouse, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm not doing much. Like if you look at my activity time, it could probably be 3 or 4 hours in a day, but that's even pushing it because maybe like a Clubhouse room could be an hour or two, then the rest could be 30 minutes here, 10 minutes there. But in a whole day, I've at least talked to a couple of people. And what starts to happen and what I realize is if I'm in a LinkedIn audio room for 1 hour, I end up on a 15-minute call that turns into a business partnership. Right now, our podcast, we're about to launch our podcast to a radio station. So that's coming soon, right? We're just going through the contract right now, and we're going to launch that for 5 years. So it's like things are happening in the background that I don't talk about a lot. I just connected with a nonprofit and we just published a course. They paid me to teach a free course for their community and also people who are interested on SEO for. Welcome, Monty. Glad to have you here, man. Good morning. SEO for artists and entrepreneurs. And I launched it out on Clubhouse. I did a soft launch yesterday on Clubhouse. So if you listen to my replay, you'll see it there, right? And then I got to connect with somebody who is in the entertainment industry for 51 years that came into the room. So that's a big connection. And now we exchange contacts, and now we're gonna be talking. And I'm so excited. I'm humbled to connect with people like this. So be a good person. Just do good, right? Period. And then you see what happens after that. Because for me, I'm not here to say, oh yeah, let's get on a call, let's talk, let's make money, let's do business. Yeah, if you have a business, let's make it happen. Let's partner up. Let's do something for the world. Because it's not just for me, it's for the world. I'm showing up because I know after this time, the time that you spend with me after this is not going to just be on a free call, right? Because I'm here for 2 hours means you can spend time with me, So if you have a question about email marketing, segmenting, SEO, checkouts, please put in the chat. I want to answer your questions. We have about how much time do we have here? My next call is in the next hour and a half, so I might stay here for a little bit longer. I've not done a long clubhouse room, so this might be my first one in a long time. Because once it gets closer to 10, which is in an hour and a half, I'll be shutting down the room. So I've been here for good about over an hour and 6 minutes. So yeah, I want to help you guys. So if you guys have a question, please raise your hand and ask me the question. I'd love to hear your feedback. You know what? Let's actually do something. Let's actually do something. If you're in business, put the business industry you are in the chat. I actually want to do something. This is about email marketing. Just put in the chat. I want to go somewhere with this. So I'm going to go to this. If you're in the room and you have a business and you're in an industry, just put the title in the chat so I can at least put that out there for you. If I see one, I'll use it. If I don't, I'll just move on from this example, because what I want to show you is typically how you can build it, because I want this to be I want you guys to communicate with me, because it's a two-way street. I don't want to talk at you. I want to talk with you, connect with you as well. Okay, so thank you for that. Talia, good morning. I'm gonna add you back. I just added you back. I didn't even know you were in here. You just sneaked up in here. Welcome to the room. Thanks for being here. I just followed you back. Okay, so fashion industry, financial services, and spiritual life coach. Those are three different types. Okay, all right. So fashion industry, I'm going to start with the fashion industry. So if I go to Google, right? I'm going to type in fashion industry in two different ways. I'm going to type it as a full-on word without the punctuation, and then I'm going to do it again with the punctuation. I'm going to have a side-by-side mirror view. So I'm going to do this really quickly. So I'm going to type in fashion industry. There's somewhere I'm going with this when it comes to email. All right, so I'm going to copy this. Okay, boom. All right, so fashion industry on one page, and I open Google in another tab, and I put fashion industry on the next page. All right, so there's something called AI overview, right? AI overview. And wow, those are two different results. Okay, bet this is perfect. So AI overview, they used to call it, search generative experiment, and that's what Google used to call it. So AI overview, right, is artificial intelligence overview. So what it does for you is that it gives you something from a search lab where Google or Gemini now listens or reads your text from the search box and then analyzes that information and gives you feedback based on what you're looking for. So I will dissect what I see from what I'm reading, and then that read will allow me to know what to say when I'm talking about it on my feed, on my website, on my social, on my inbox, on my email, wherever I am. I'm going to do it like that. So AI overview tells me this when I use fashion industry open ended, no punctuation. It says the fashion industry is a network. It highlights these words: a network of companies and professionals that work in various sectors to create, produce, and sell clothing, accessories, cosmetics, and jewelry. So, from my SEO standpoint, and this is what we did for a client. They're called RBY. They do prints, right? Because we got to know that, oh, they have a printing store, they do embroidery, they have silk printing. I said, hey, tell people what printers you guys even use to print their products so that you can actually give people brand partnership value. So that's what we did for our client. And now every Tuesday, we did something called RBY Tuesdays. We're like, hey, if you like tacos on Tuesdays, let's go do a Taco Tuesday thing. And now we beef that up to actual businesses. Let's highlight businesses so that any business that wants to highlight themselves on your email list, they have to pay a fee so that they can actually highlight their business to their community, right? So they have to pay a fee to get that, right? So with this fashion industry, I can see clothing, accessories, cosmetics, jewelry. Those are 4 buckets. So I can go into these 4 buckets and start sending an email and saying, hey, if I'm in the fashion industry and I'm talking about clothing, accessories, cosmetics, and jewelry, I may not own all of this. I may own the clothing. I may partner with for the accessories. I may be a brand ambassador for the cosmetics, and I may have personal jewelry I may like, right? Now, I'm going deeper into the layer whereby if these are all the 4 things that I offer as a business, welcome, Miss Andrea. Glad to have you here, Claire, Lena, and Cameron as well. I see you guys too. Thanks for being here. When you have these 4 categories, right? These 4 categories gives you the ability to build into a new layer and a new structure that your business can actually see more customers, more value, more time, and more action. Because the call to action you'll be telling them is, hey, welcome to our page. Let us know what you like. Do you like clothing, accessories, cosmetics, or jewelry? And then on your website, you can literally tap. They can say if you click on clothing, it's going to put you in the clothing bucket. If you put on accessories, it will put you in the accessories bucket. If you click multiple options, it will put you in those buckets that you pick. Now on the back end, my email list, I can see that if I have 1,000 subscribers a month, for example, let's actually base it down: 10 subscribers a month, 10 new subscribers a month. Out of these 10, I get 5 clothing, 3 accessories, 1 cosmetics, 1 jewelry. Now I know that in these 4 buckets, I know who came here for what, I know why they came here, and I know what they want to do with the information they're going to receive. That's what we did for a client. His name is David Pizzat, amazing photographer, right? He's in our program too. If you type in David Pizzat photography, he's great, great, great guy. He's in San Antonio, amazing guy. And he ranks higher than Airbnb. If you type in Airbnb photography Texas, you're gonna see him first before Airbnb. Just Google that right now, you will see it. His name is there. Like, I don't even have to go on Google to tell you, it's right there. To tell you how high up, he didn't pay for that. Organically speaking, he's been able to dominate the search field above Airbnb.com because we strategically wanted to focus on pages on his website that help him get business for that. right? So he can travel, he can spend time with his family, he can get online, his business is making money, he's been doing it for 20 years, and he's living his life. But he didn't know about SEO and all this stuff till a year ago. He found me on Clubhouse, and now we're really good friends, right? So, and I'm also learning Spanish from him too. Like this when he speaks, I always like to speak Spanish with him, and then he'll speak back. So it's cool, So it's just like good vibes, good people, connect with people, and that's it, right? So I'm looking at it from his perspective because he does wedding photography, he does Airbnb photography, he does product photography, he does marketing photography, and those are different types of photography, period. I don't even need to expatiate on that, right? When you look at those four buckets, those are four different needs, right? Welcome, Adam. Four different needs. So these needs need to be fulfilled, right? And when they're fulfilled, that way, someone can respond back. Feedback is the best currency for your business. That's why all these telecommunication network companies, they love asking you, hey, tell us how we did. What do you like about the business? Do you like this and that? That feedback, that survey is so important to them. That review is so important to them because that's going to let the next person know about how you work with people, right? Reviews plus testimonials plus recommendations, all those things. That's why even LinkedIn has recommendations. You can add recommendations to your LinkedIn. You can give and receive, right? So he has all those four buckets and he has his own email list. So in his email list, he has people that have signed up for Airbnb, people have signed up for weddings, people have signed up for this. Because if there's Airbnb and wedding, I can send a newsletter to both and say, hey, if you're looking for a place to stay, here are some Airbnb options you can have if you're hosting a wedding. Those kind of things. So he has his structure laid out because on his website, davidpezat.com, you go to his website with two Z's, right? DAVIDPEZZAT.com. You get to see that as soon as you hit his page, boom, you're going to pick on those options before you go to the next page, right? Because you want to connect with the person on a deeper level. So when you get those emails, you're getting targeted emails, responsive emails, contextual emails, not emails that you didn't subscribe to. That's why people get unsubscribes fast because they just say anything to everyone, thinking everyone's going to buy from you. No. So think about those different things, and that's how I segment it. So for fashion, I would have clothing, accessories, cosmetics, jewelry. After I have those four, someone picks that on my website, the next thing that comes in is now clothing. Is it silk? Is it polyester? Is it spandex? Is it linen? Is it cotton? Like, is it wool? We start going deeper into layers. Then accessories, is it for men? Is it for women? If it's for women, what is it? Is it gold? Is it silver? Is it plated? Is it 24K? Like we start going deeper. Is it cosmetics? Okay, what about cosmetics? What are we looking for? What are the details? So you start going into those things to the point where you have so many pages on your website that has resourceful information about things that you sell in form of blogs, podcasts. Now David has just started his own podcast show because I told him, hey, yes, you're in business, but people need to hear from you because not everyone's going to buy from you, but the people who hear from you will be impacted and one day they'll refer someone to you. So everybody is a resource. Don't treat anyone differently than the other. Everybody has something to give. So he now started his own podcast and he's building it out and it's really, really good, right? So you're thinking about helping the next person. So if you're in the fashion industry, Talia, you can easily create these four measures, and then these will now open up more conversations, and that will allow you to get more context. And eventually, you're doing SEO in reverse because you're helping them with information and you're valuing that information they're getting. Now, that is what I'm getting from the fashion industry on Google on the first page. When I did the same thing and with the quotation marks, it says the fashion industry is, now here's where it highlighted, a global network of businesses and professionals that design, produce, market, and distribute clothing, accessories, and other related products. Then it goes on to say it's a major driver of employment and a significant part of the world's economy, valued at more than $2.5 trillion dollars and employing over 75 million people. This industry is driven by consumer demand, cultural influences, and creative expression, right? That's what we're getting from three resources. The first one is the US FIA. That's the fashion industry, the United States fashion industry. Then from YouTube, a post on YouTube from August 20th, 2023. That's last year. And then there's another company called Geneva Environment Network, and they published an article April 5th, 2024. So the AI overview has given you factual information, has given you relevant information, and has given you time sensitive information. Now, as a business, you think about it, what can I put out there as a business and say, okay, I have a website, this is going to make passive income because I'm handling products, I have all these products, they're uploaded, the SEO is done correctly, they're compressed images, the file names have the right keywords in them, they're hyphenated, they have the right, file extension, they're uploaded to a great server that allows you to get great feedback. You connect that website to Google Search Console, to Microsoft Bing, that allows you to end up on AI searches like you.com, which is a AI search engine powered by Microsoft. On top of that, you're building those systems to the point where you look back, you're like, yeah, this is exactly where we're going, because from here, you're creating content that's relevant for people to find. And this YouTube video is one. How many YouTube videos are in the world talking about the fashion industry? A lot. But why did AI Overview pick this exact one? Because the title says how the fashion industry works, an understanding of the. I'm actually clicking on the YouTube video to go there. It's 17 minutes long. That's a short video. Imagine. There we go. And it's just a lady talking about so her name is Silvina Guerrero. She has about 8.51K subscribers, and she has about 16 comments. And yeah, she's doing her own thing. And let's see what's in her. Yeah, she has her PayPal, she has her merch, she has her fragrances. I'm sure that's for, she's what she uses for her videos, all this great stuff. If you want to think about video and YouTube, please, Monty's in the room. Please reach out to Monty. He's a beast, amazing G with great things that you can learn from Monty, when it comes to YouTube. So if you ever need any YouTube support or help, please go to Monty. He'll direct you, help you. If it's his team that will do it or someone that he can refer you to, he can do that greatly for you. And just wanted to shout you out as well, Monty. YouTube is big because when you're there, there's something called Google Perspectives, right? And Google created this thing last year. It's perspectives from UGC content, user generated content. So Google will go to TikTok, to YouTube, to Reddit, will go to maybe even X these days, will go to Facebook if they find it, or LinkedIn, to get something resourceful, even Pinterest, that will now help you validate the search that you're looking for. So why I had two searches with me on fashion industry on both sides is because one of them was open-ended. So whenever you're searching on Google for something specific, use quotation marks. That will give you exact match value, right? Those are one of the things I'll be talking about in my workshop, and I'll be giving you guys a table of content that you can actually see to connect. So I'm going to bring that link back up here. But I hope that helped with fashion industry as well. I give you something really specific, and then I'll come to you, Austin and Claire, as well. So put in the chat and let me know, and then I'll also come to the other comments as well. Miss Andrea, how are you? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are
I'm
you?
great. I saw you enjoying yourself.
As always, you got to enjoy yourself. You got to keep on smiling and you got to keep on wearing happiness, even if you don't want to be happy, just wear it. That's my ethos.
Amazing, amazing. No, I love it. I love it. Appreciate you. What are you thinking about this whole discussion, like with email marketing? Like, even when you receive emails, like, what's your experience like?
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? When it comes to emails such as, okay, I don't know, maybe my housing or something's going on with my bills, I'm interested. But when it comes to sometimes emails, for example, clothing and stuff like that, when it's too much, even though it's discounts and it's a good deal, but sometimes it's just too much because it's what's the word? It's how much they send it throughout the day, the one day. I mean, if I got it, okay, I got it today, once in the morning, and then I don't know, tomorrow, it's like, okay, cool. But it's like they would send it twice and then they would send me a text message. And I think because I signed up with alerts. Um, But I still do think it's a good way of communicating with people, only because, at that time, maybe if I do have extra funds and stuff like that and I do want to spend, yeah, great, So I don't know, it's 50-50. I just feel the way it is delivered and the frequency of how many emails you will get from a company is very important. Too much for me. I think for me, it just causes me anxiety and I don't like it. And then I end up unsubscribing. And that's just me. That's what I do.
I love that because I was going to ask you what makes you unsubscribe, because when you said a lot of factors have to play into it, it's true. You can have a huge list of people and they're unsubscribing a lot. That means that you're not providing the experience that they came for. Because it's one thing to get someone in your email list, it's another thing to keep them there. It's like it's one thing to make money, it's another thing to keep the money. Right. So it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. It's not how many emails you sign up per week. It's how many people are impacted per week. Right. So you start to build those relationships based off experiences, right? If you remember an experience you got with an email, it makes sense, right? Anytime I send an email, I kind of cringe because I'm like, I don't want to bombard people with emails, but I have to do it. Coming to realize they actually want more emails from me, and I'm like, ugh, no, okay, if we want to do that, then I'm going to give you guys emails in chunks. Because what I realize when I send one email, that email can last for a week because I'll give you enough to binge on that you can go down a rabbit hole that you probably waiting for the next email to come through. Because I realized with one email, I got to send that email quickly. Like I sent an email this morning around 5 a.m. Let me even go in there right now. It had about, I have it open right here. The email went out to only 79 people. Out of the people I segmented out of the 7,000, there's an 84.8% open rate and an 84.8% click rate. So that tells me, these guys out of 79 people, 67 of them want to be interested in actually getting it. But I told them the only way you can get it is if you send me a message, because I'm not going to send you another message. None of them unsubscribed because they're trying to figure out what is this. So I send them a link to a resource, the article. If you want to join Chatter, click this link. It's only for iOS right now. So check it out. It's an invite only. If you're going to miss out this weekend and it expires, that's on you. So that FOMO, it's crazy because was it yesterday or the day before? Brand McKnight came in. He was having dinner with his family, and he just sang for us because he made a song for his son, and it was just a beautiful moment. We captured it. It was great in the app. It was at night, and that was it. And I sent them a screenshot of him in there. Not everybody got that email because I don't want to bombard everybody, right? The only reason why I sent it to those 79 people is because I sent an email to 7,000 people asking them, if you want to learn more about this, click here. So when they clicked there, I captured those 79 people that clicked through to it within a 48-hour cycle because I know those are the people who actually want to join. Because I told them I have 100 invites. So if you want to join, cool. So I got about 79. Now it's 67. So the number gets smaller and smaller and smaller. I'm not worried because I know at the end of the day, I'm in there. You're not. And if you want to get in, I can get you in. But the point is that you have not because you ask not. You don't get something you don't ask for. You can get some things that's favor is not fair, but sometimes you have to think about where you are and what you're putting out for people to see. That's how you connect with people. I'm getting to a point where I'm making my business passive. Like no more Zoom calls for 50 hours a week. Those days are gone because I realize when you prioritize your time and you put 80% into 20% of the time you invest, the 80% you get back will supply anything that you need over time. That's why this podcast is growing. It's top 3% globally. I didn't even think that till I saw the stats. I was just going. I was not making a podcast to make money. My goal was to meet people because I love meeting people. That's why I joined Clubhouse. And now I'm 4 years in Clubhouse, 5 years on podcasts, 10 years in business. Now it's like, okay, let's switch gears because now it's time to activate. I've been building. I've been building in silence. I've been building. I've been doing music since 2005. So it's going to be 20 years making music. Next year, I'm going to probably do some music. That's another stream of income. That's royalties. I make beats. I'm a producer. I'm having beats. You can get non-exclusive licenses, exclusive licenses, buyout licenses. That's passive income. So I'm not like scramming for money or scramming for people because the people are already there. It's how you access them and how you show them love and how you respect them. That's how they come back. That's the whole point of email marketing. I'm not saying an email to make a sale. Not everyone on your email will make a purchase, but they will make some impact that you created because you showed up first. So that's how I do it. I don't know about people, but yeah. Simon is asking, is it about trust and relevance? I'm going to come to that question because I want to capture. I love that you brought that title, Simon. So thanks for being here. I'll come to you. Edward, we'd love to connect with you. Thanks for joining the room today. Good morning. I know you say, are you in Ghana?
Yes, I'm in Ghana.
Nice to have you, man. Thanks for joining us today. Any questions for us?
Thank you. Thank
Yeah, anytime. Thanks for being here. Do you have a question, contribution?
you. I think I joined quite late, so I couldn't grasp all what you said. But then I think moving forward, I would be joining, so I'll be able to contribute.
Okay, okay. Appreciate that. No problem. If anything comes to mind, let me know. Miss Andrea, anything come to you before I go to Simon?
No, I liked what you said, and I'm looking forward to you answering Simon's question because it's interesting.
Amazing. Thank you. Appreciate that. Simon, welcome to the room. Good morning or good afternoon.
It's good afternoon over here in the UK. Favor, thank you for inviting me up on stage.
Yeah, thanks for being here. We wanted to just hear from you because you talked about your business and you consult on energy efficiency. So we'd love to hear more and then I can answer your question. Thanks for being here.
Well, yeah, well, it's funny because I was just on my laptop on LinkedIn, which, because I operate B2B, is sort of my go-to platform. But I'm not excluding any other forms of reach out, like just pure email. And what what I was doing today was finding a mechanism which I could lift emails addresses off my connections within LinkedIn so that I could create an email campaign to them. Yeah. So that's, yeah, when I was doing that, I came onto Clubhouse and yeah, I came across your room. So I thought, oh, it's sort of like, sort of bang on what I'm looking at. Yeah. And what email role it plays. So, yeah. So I on behalf of my daughter, she's about to go to university, and we were looking at potential passive income that she can create online to help her her financial situation, yeah, while studying. And there's this guy I came across who he emails me three times a day at least, yeah, um, and my daughter, she's just not quite ready to get stuck into what he's suggesting. And he's suggesting, actually, sorry, I'm going into a bit of a ramble. I apologize. You can tell me to shut up. But basically, he does it via affiliate marketing, and he finds good offers, but sending it to the right people. And it's how he builds his email list so he can send the offers for what people are interested in. But I suddenly thought, well, he's emailing me three times a day. And if it wasn't for the fact I'm just sort of allowing that to happen on behalf of my daughter, I'd probably get really irritated with that. And then you sort of said to me, and it made me think about my own campaigns. What is it that, because you said you don't want to always do a sales email. So, okay, well, what emails do you want to do as an alternative to create, I'm assuming, that relationship and that trust? And then I thought, well, okay, so what am I going to talk about in terms of energy efficiency? I could just talk about products without trying to sell them, just like as an information backdrop. But at what point do I press the button and go, actually, I'm now going to approach you with some kind of offer? And it's trying to understand, for me, getting that balance between, okay, you don't want to always be selling, but sometimes you've got to sell because you've got to make money. Does that make sense? Where does that line get? When do you step over the line, or do you wait just literally for people to reach out to you and go, actually, I read about your voltage optimization technology, which is questionable whether they would because it's a bit dry and boring, and I fancy some of that. Do you wait for them to approach you? How's that dynamic change from a database to one that you actually approach or buys from you. Does that make sense? Favor?
Yes. Yes, Simon. I just gave you your follow too, because I'd love to even have, some more conversations with you about your business. And I love that you're doing this with energy efficiency, because I'm also investing in solar energy, and a lot of people don't know about that either. So I'm also introducing that to my community and how they can get started. I featured somebody, to talk about solar energy and how you can start somewhere. So when you talked about energy efficiency, I got a light bulb as you were speaking. What came to mind was interior design, because I was wondering, if you think about energy efficiency, you're consulting people on reducing energy consumption within a business. So I'm thinking commercial property, I'm thinking overhead costs, I'm thinking bills, I'm thinking service, I'm thinking customer service, I'm thinking brand experience, I'm thinking bottom line, I'm thinking about so many things to deal with that, because you're a founder, you're a business owner. So I can talk about energy efficiency from A to Z, because I know there's so many things I can cover that are relevant to your day. If you're saving money, if you're trying to think about buying electric energy, electric cars, or sticking with gas cars, or think about solar cars, which is coming, hydrogen cars. Like, think about where we're going in the future. And you're the person talking about those predictions. You're talking about those things. You become the thought leader because you have that experience, and no one can take that from you. On LinkedIn, you give an experience story. If you have a podcast, even better, you can own your protection and own your property and talk about those experiences, bring other experts on board, have those debates, have those conversations, create that versus moment, and allow people to make an informed decision. Because when someone makes an informed decision about working with you as a business, that's because they did their own due diligence to do research. If you want to take your child to the best school, it's because you did your research based on what school is best for your child. So if someone wants to do business with you, or learn from you, or take action from what you say, then your website needs to have links. And the number of links determines the strength of the brain of your website. The top website in the world is, of course, Google. But when you think about websites that are visited a lot, Wikipedia is one of them. Is at the top of the list, because YouTube is one of them, because they have links. The more links you have within your domain property folder, within your source file, within your domain authority file, the faster you can grow. That's why Wedding Wire, The Knot, Yelp, Amazon, all these big companies, the reason why they're so big is the fundamental value is that they protected their intellectual property, which they still do, and they have links. They have uniform resource locators, website links, web pages. So if you have a web page and you're talking about what is energy efficiency, what is the difference between energy and efficiency and the next best thing since sliced bread, anything else, clean energy, breaking energy, green tech, home energy, eco intelligent homes. I'm looking at those things right now on my list. I don't know those things in full, but you may do. You probably do, and you know better than we do. So we can learn from you. But how can we learn if we don't have access to that information? So the goal here is to build articles, systems, so when people learn from you, that those articles and those emails are resourceful and not bombarding you with information. Does that help?
It does. So I'm building, yeah, the house of information in relation to energy efficiency. So people can enter my house and they go in the room that is relevant to them. Um, yeah, no, I get all that. I mean, I had worked with another company, so I'm now doing my own thing. So it's all relatively new. So that this building of the house, obviously, because I haven't actually at the moment, I haven't got my own website. Yeah. So obviously that has to change, obviously, and I know that. And then it's getting advice on, okay, well, I can create like a landing page type scenario, which is a sales, the end of the sales funnel, or to get people to sign up and capture emails, I suppose. Um, but that's not quite the same. Well, it's not as complete as what you're talking about in terms of the links and the how people can enter the door and go, right, I want to go down there, I want to do this, I want to find out that. Oh great, there's a link to that from Simon, blah blah blah. So yeah, um ultimately you have to do as much as you can don't you, to give that information and be the go-to person. Yeah, the thing about energy efficiency and the technologies of the market is that it's very, very fragmented. So you've got Mr. Jones in his factory creating one technology. You then got Mr. Smith somewhere else doing another technology. So there's all these myriad type technologies that a business person has got no idea about. But there's a lot of background noise about obviously climate change, save the planet, be energy efficient. That's also driven by the cost of energy going up. And people having to pay more for their electricity and their gas, certainly in the UK anyway. So that background is pushing, you swimming downstream, but you therefore have to be providing the right information and be a place where people can go. So I get that. So thanks very much.
Yeah, you're welcome, Simon. And I would love to connect with you further too, because I already have some ideas. Like one of them that comes to mind is you can highly use this if you want to brand it in your own way. I have a creative strategy to go through this as I thought through it. So I'm just going to give you the top of it. And the tip of this is if you create something that deals with your name, like Simon says emails, and those are things that you can actually create as your own brand and customize it to your fit, then you can actually start creating threads within your emails that contribute to those things. Because like our client, they have something called RBY Tuesday. So every Tuesday we send a newsletter alerting them about products, services, what are we doing for the community, for charity. That is something we do on a consistent Tuesday basis. And we realized that because through search, they started searching for Tuesdays on our search console. And we're like, hey, what does Tuesday have to do with the business? And then it all came together. And I was like, let's pick a day of the week and use this for the business as brand exchange value. So for you, Simon Says could be something you could do with emails, but it has to come from a strategic point. It can't just be any kind of email. So that's where creatively I can talk with you about this. And then we can turn that into energy, resource, and sustainability, how people can financially take care of themselves, use experiences from the UK, bring it to the US, and we can create that cross bridge. So we can definitely go deeper into that. I appreciate that insight as well. Empress, I brought you up because she said something in the chat, and I wanted to make sure that that is, clarified because I want to always fact check things. So I'll pass it to you, Empress.
Thanks, and I apologize in advance. I don't have a lot of time left that I can talk. Simon, you had said something earlier, and I just want to caution you because I'm not sure if you're aware, but scraping emails off of LinkedIn is against their terms of service, and if they find out you're doing it, they will permanently disable your LinkedIn account. Secondly, I assume you're in the UK based off of your
Yes, I
accent.
am.
Um, That is, if you then email any of those people, that is against GDPR, which you could be fined for. So I would recommend being cautious of that. Um, and I would work with someone like Favor to see how you can get some good lead magnets in place, so that you can get those emails in a legal way.
Yeah, well, I don't want to break the law. So can I ask you just on that? Because what I just did, and literally it was today, I just did a Google search, and I'd heard the word scraping before, which is why I used it. Yeah, and it came up with a list of um, companies that provide the tool to do that. Yeah, so and the one I just happened to was a company called Lusher. I don't know if you've heard of that. I hadn't before today. So what you're saying is that Lusher are they doing something that's illegal, or is it just the fact that LinkedIn don't like it, or is it both?
It's against, so scraping LinkedIn site is against LinkedIn's terms of service. So by you using it, you're breaking LinkedIn's terms of service, and they'll
Right,
disable your account for it.
which I don't want
Because
because
right,
it's too.
and because LinkedIn's trying to protect their customers'
Yeah,
information.
yeah.
In terms of you choosing to use those emails to then email people, that's against GDPR. So the cert technically, and I know this is shitty the way that they get around these loops. The service you're using isn't breaking the rules. You utilizing the service is breaking the rules.
Wow. Okay. Well, thanks very much for letting me know, because I mean, it's in reality, yeah. Once I've connected with someone, I can message them on LinkedIn, but I also want to be able to email them. So can I if they're connections to me, okay? Does I don't know if that makes any difference. So there's not I'm not just doing this to a list of people that I've just you know asked LinkedIn to create. Yeah, these are actually connections. So if I go to a connection and they've got their contact info and it creates an email and part of that contact, am I all right to you to email them when they're connected with me?
If they've expressed consent that you can connect with them, I think that's fine. And if they have it listed somewhere, it's fine because then they're inviting you to connect with them and email them. But in terms of like if you are scraping it and getting their personal information without them basically providing it to you, then that is against the rules. And I think the second part of that is also how would you feel from the other side of it,
Yeah, yeah, no,
right?
no, that's
And that there is something else you can do with LinkedIn though. Oh, sorry, my dogs are freaking out. Give me 2 seconds. Let me just let them know. Sorry, my neighbors have a Disney princess backyard where they have like birds and squirrels and bunnies all surrounded by their bird feeders. So my dogs go nuts when they see anything arrive.
okay.
Um,
I've got
but in terms of LinkedIn does offer, if you do a newsletter with LinkedIn, it'll email you. It'll email your. I think it's the subscribers favor. Is that correct? I think it emails the subscribers your newsletter. So that is another way around it. But ultimately, I think the best way is you want them to give them your information.
yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, that's the
So,
most correct way to do it. And I know it sucks as a business person, but it's the
well, no, but I don't want to lose. I don't want to get banned by LinkedIn because it is the best platform for me to use. Yeah, I mean, what I do is I identify people and that like people who might be relevant to what I do within a business, and then I reach out to them, ask an invitation, and then those people who connect with me, that's when I've tried to email them. They haven't. Some offer the email if they're interested in the message that they receive with my invitation, but the majority just accept and connect, and then I do the rest. So they haven't specifically said, "Yeah, email me." Um, so okay, well that's fair. That's good. So everybody on this on the room today, don't tell LinkedIn, or else I'll get in trouble. But thanks for that, Empress. That was great.
Yeah, Empress is a wealth of knowledge. So I wanted to make sure we can fact check that because anytime I'm in a room, I like to make sure the facts are straight. Ethical marketing is my number one thing, etiquette, business etiquette, so that we can do, it's called white hat SEO. It's fair play. Everybody has a chance to shine because it's easy to work through if you just do it correctly and, of course, legally. So, yeah, Simon, please click the link above. I invite you to click the link above as well, and you can choose any of the options available. The green ones that you see that are coded are the paid ones. The purple one is the 15-minute call, and then the one in orange is where you can be on a podcast and we can interview you as a podcast guest and actually highlight your story as a business. So please feel free to pick any of these four options and those will be available for you. So yeah, Empress had to go on a call as well. So yeah, this is what we're
Will
talking
do.
about.
Will do.
Yes.
Thanks, Favor. Really appreciate it, mate.
You're welcome, Simon. Yeah, it's a pleasure. I just love being on this app because you never know who you meet, connect with. I'm the leader in this house, which is growing every day. We're at 348.7K members. So, and I've been on Clubhouse since November 24th, 2020. So it's been a long time being on this platform, and I've met a lot of people, globally and connected. And it's just a blessing to be here and still serve and show up consistently. So, yeah, email marketing is the best thing you can do for your business. Because guess what? When you're on YouTube and you subscribe to someone's show You get an email from them saying, hey, your favorite subscriber just posted a video. That's an email YouTube did for you. So YouTube already has their own CRM embedded into their automation workflow, suggesting that anytime a subscriber, they have an if and then clause, right? If subscriber X signs up to this channel, then subscriber X gets this email within a 5-second window. Whatever it is that they've automated, right? Same thing goes to your emails. How do you automate them? How do you connect with people? When you send an email, do they receive it? And the most important thing is to get your emails into the inbox. A lot of people do email marketing, but they don't do it correctly. They don't do it correctly. And that's why your business is not really making that. Because I talk with some businesses, some business owners, even here in the US, I'm in Houston, and some businesses say, hey, I don't need this website. I'm just going to do a landing page and I'm going to send people there to my Instagram. I'm like, why are we living in 2015? Because we are in a place where AI is coming hard, especially with the iOS 18 coming with Apple. You guys will see it and we'll be here to talk about it. I'm just telling you what's going to happen because I love predicting, you know, activity, online movement, tech, business, just intellectual property, period. How you connect in the next few months, especially this holiday season, is going to be different because we're going to incorporate AI into thinking. You guys are going to see it. We're going to incorporate AI, artificial intelligence, into our consumer behavior activities, which is going to make us purchase things based off AI suggestions. You're going to start seeing it with Apple. iOS 18 is coming with the AI intelligence that they're building. So where do you fall in as a business? And how you can fall right into the right place is to start a podcast, build a website, have an email list. If TikTok goes today, what are you going to do? If Instagram goes today, what are you going to do? If your favorite app blows out today, what's going to happen? Let's say Apple Podcast stops working. Can people still listen to your podcast on your website? If your website goes off, can people listen to you on YouTube? Like where can you be omni-channel wise that you're everywhere at the same time without having to give more of your time? That's what's called timeless content. So I'm here for free. I've been on here since what, 7:30 a.m. Central. It's 9:21 Central, and I'm about to wrap up this room in the next 9 minutes because I've been here. I've given you 2 hours of my free time to help you. But when we get off this call and we get on that 15-minute call, we'll talk about your business and you decide which package you want to pick. How many hours do you want to spend with us a month? What is your investment plan? Do you want to do 3 months, 6 months, 12 months? You decide. You have a 7-day window to make a decision because we have a 7-day policy that we're introducing from August 1st. So from August 1st, when we start working with you, after 7 days, if it's not responded, we cancel the invoice, we expire the file, and we keep it going because we know time is money and we don't want to waste your time. So we'd rather not send you an email to bug you or annoy you because the last thing we want to do is waste your time. You came to us, so why are we now chasing you down? So it's the whole thing. It's psychology. You have to be just, if you're able to help, help. If you can't, say it. Communication is valuable because the last thing you want to do is assume things and presume things. So that's what we do. We help you have a better standing. So that's what we're doing. If you want to just have that one call, great. We can get on a call for an hour, get it recorded, get you all the materials, do an audit, give you a strategy, and you can implement that with your team or you can do that on your own because we want to help you serve, right? At a high capacity. So email marketing, segmenting, and checkouts, SEO. This has been the room for you. And I've really broken down concepts on how you can segment your email so you don't bombard people, send people relevant information, connect with them. Thank you so much, Simon. I just saw the connection. I just saw my notification. Appreciate you. Looking forward to connecting with you. When you start like that and you build, then I know that someone is serious because I've had experiences, running this business for 10 years plus 11 years plus as a business owner. I'm like, now I can see like you learn new things every day, especially when you have a team. You have people, some of my teams were here, they were in the audience, they were just listening because I told them to come and listen and, just pay attention. And it's cool because this is an open space. I love to be here, share my time, share my value, give people insights, not just give you things for things' sake. Like, this is a time that we need to grow, grow, grow. But if we're growing, we need to grow in the right place. So as we're building these systems, we're not just building them because we want to just show up. It's because your time is valuable. So in exchange, I want to give you something that you can record, you can keep, you can transcribe, you can do what you want to do because you have the toolbox. If you have the right toolbox, you can fix that car, you can fix that house, you can fix that plumbing machine, you can fix that roof, you can fix whatever needs to be fixed because you have the right tool to fix it. But sometimes we don't have the right tools, and that's why we're looking at it. So that's why I'm excited about being here on Clubhouse, showing you how to do things better. And segmenting has come so easily to me because I use a platform called Flowdesk, right? Flowdesk, because we send out emails. We say, hey guys, here's our new website. We're working on a new website right now. After 10 years, we're building a new website. I said, it's time to build. So I talked to my team and I was like, yeah, let's build a new website. We've been building websites for clients. We've built from scratch, health companies, travel companies, financial, real estate, food. Like we got to build our house and, renovate our house after 10 years. So that's what we're doing now. So, just to celebrate 5 years podcasting next month, August 12th, with top 3% global ranking, according to listennotes.com. The We Don't Play podcast station has been, is over 25 platforms. And this last, 30 days, we've been listening to a lot on Apple, Amazon Alexa, Pandora, and Web. Those have been our top four from what I saw in the stats. And I was like, okay, Alexa, so it also tells me what people are listening to, where people are going. Hey, Chama, welcome to the room. Good morning. So yeah, people are here to help, and we're here to help you, you know, enjoy, connect, and build. Yeah, Chima also pushes me sometimes to do things as well, and say, yeah, go, 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 go. And yeah, we make it happen. What's up, Chima? Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, I'm well. How are
I'm
you?
great. I'm great. I see you killing it on Facebook. What's up? That's good, good, good. I'm proud of you. How's that been going?
It's been phenomenal. It's been really, really good.
That's good. That's what's up. I love that. Yeah, everybody's, we're going in. You have to keep going. Sometimes you just have to see someone else doing it to do it. If you look at my Instagram post, I don't do this, but today I said, you know what, let me just do it because we're celebrating something here. We just worked with a nonprofit company, and I'm about to, release a course on SEO for artists and entrepreneurs. It's a free course that you can get, and you can literally, enjoy it, learn how to use the systems and the practices. It's free. It's so free that it's like this thing should not even be free, but it is. So I paid with my time, they paid with their, exchange, and we've been working with this for about close to 9 months now. So I was like, I know when it comes out, it'll be perfect for the season. And this was during the time TikTok and UMG, because I'm in the entertainment business industry too. So I got to see those things, and I was like, yeah, it's time to make those changes. So yeah, definitely. Oof, okay, Simon had to go because, yeah, okay, no problem. So this is great. I'm glad that we're all here and we're all connected. We're only here for the next few minutes. So if you guys have any questions, please connect. Okay, so I'm gonna put this masterclass one more time. Let me see. I'm gonna put it up here one more time. This masterclass. I don't know when I'm going to do another one. I'm planning to do one like every month, but this one may not happen twice. It won't happen twice. So thanks for that insight, Choma. So the link above, I started with this link in the room. It's a limited seats link. So Miss Andrea, Choma, Edward, Austin, Cameron, Saturday, Metini, Badly Mohen, Pezman, and Snoopy. There's a link at the top that's I want you to look at and click on, which will take you to the link where you'll see a web page requesting you to join a Work Smart Masterclass AI Marketing Tools for Entrepreneurs workshop. Once you hit request to join, it's a $47 investment. You get in, you get the tools, you show up for a live session for 30 to 90 minutes. It's going to be a 90-minute call. So it's going to be broken down into 45, 45. But at least within the first 30 minutes, you're going to get high energy content value information, and you'll be learning 7 tools. It's going to be like an 8 a.m. Central. So around this time is when we're going to be rounding up. So if you look at this time minus an hour and a half, that's what we're going to be, that's the time we're going to be spending, because everyone is in a different location. So I want to respect everyone's time. So it's going to be a live room. You're going to learn how to use these tools on your own. You're going to process it. You're going to see how these 7 tools work together, how you can use it for research. So instead of going to Fiverr and buying, looking for someone to do this, do that, you have a whole thing. Welcome, Tina. You have a whole AI staff taking care of your work. You have virtual assistants. You can crunch numbers. You can crunch spreadsheets. You can crunch data using AI and using your own intellectual property, and not using a chat GPT model to give you a result that's generic. You're getting your own results because you're feeding it into your own system. So it's a really great tool, and there are 7 of them I'm going to be giving you. And you can't get this anywhere outside, because these tools are new. First of all, no one talks about them much. I don't see them talked about a lot. And I don't want to talk about these tools out there, because these are tools that if you use, you'll be where we are, and you'll be even further than I am, because you can do it collectively better than I can. So I'm just showing you the way on how to do it. So, Chama, does that help? Because I had to bring it back for you.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, I just checked the chat. Okay, you see, both of us were on the same. Thank you. I love that. Appreciate you. Welcome to the room, and welcome, welcome, welcome to the masterclass. No, you're gonna see how like beneficial it is. I appreciate you, because there's so much you can see as a business, that when you look at the value exchange and the time that you spend, August, September, October, November, December, yeah, 5 months, you can do so much in 5 months. So much. Like, you'll be so far ahead in 5 months if you really take your time to think about this. The email pieces, I have something called WebLast. That's the acronym. It's crazy. I got that in the shower, and I was like, how do I just connect all these dots? And I said, boom, 7 of them. So all of them are gonna have AI tools. They're gonna have traditional tools, and these tools will allow you to actually build your own working operating system. So whenever you're looking for things online to predict the future, to say, okay, when July, what's going to happen next August, what's going to happen in March, you can actually predict those things by using those tools that I'll give you. So when you create content, you're not out of context as well, because sometimes we're like, how do we create content? It's right there. That content can actually show up. So it's what I really want you to look at. And yeah, we're getting full, so it's good for you to join us and be there as well, and really really connect, and just look at your business long term, see how you can actually help someone. Even if it means standing in the gap for somebody and getting that content and sending it to them if they're not available and you are, great. But at the end of the day, these are things that you'd have to get. And if you see them online, great, but you pretty much wouldn't, because companies and pages online, they don't really have structured data. Like, if you look at the actual statistics out there, 94% of pages out there are not indexed. That's a big percentage of indexed pages on the other side, which contributes to the 1.9 billion websites which are available, but only 82% of them have not been updated. So if you look at the reverse formula of each of those curves, you'll realize that it's only a few number of websites in the world out of those 1.9 billion that are actually moving the needle, that are actually showing up online, that are actually getting traffic, and that are actually getting sales without having to show up or even spend money on leads. So I'll show you how those things work, and we'll be able to make that happen. But I've been on here. It's been a great time. I don't spend a lot of time like this. So this has been a 2 hour and 2 minute session, like a 2-2 session. So before I go any further, Miss Andrea, I wanted to pass it to you. What did you learn? What did you like? Chum, I'll pass it to you if you have any questions for me. And then Edward, I'll pass it to you as well, because I know you said you weren't here earlier. So I hope you caught some few things as well. So passing it to you, Miss Andrea.
I'm just happy that you give us your time, because time is precious. I think every single time you come on this platform, you're also very disciplined with your time, and I respect that and I like that. So I believe that you're just teaching me as well. If I was ever to go into business or do anything for myself, is to respect the time and respect myself and to be kind to myself as well. Um, and also, I'm really happy that there's other people that come into this room to tell someone like Simon, by the way, you shouldn't be doing that, and giving each other advice. I like that your room is filled with people supporting each other, and it's just care, supporting each other and care, and that is genuine love, which is hard to see sometimes when you're walking on the street, people showing love. So I just appreciate your room and I'm grateful for your room. And yeah, God bless. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you too. God bless you because I love to give, time, but sometimes I'm like, man, who's giving me time? But at the same time, business wise, you have to think strategically. You have to say, okay, if I'm going to help this business, then how do I make sure that my business is also not suffering because I'm giving too much time to, it's a whole thing of time and money, and the exchange is crazy, but we learn every day. We learned so much, and we created as well. So yeah, Tina, oh, you were at a prayer meeting. Oh, okay, no problem. Thank you so much for joining. Yes, the replays are on. They're on, and we'd love to have you in that workshop, Tina, because up here in this workshop, we can dive deep. I could love to know what you're doing. You can connect with other people as well in the room. It's going to be a very tight knit, close place. Like right now, we are about 9 people, including myself. So it's going to be very close, very, very close. And everyone has something to give. So it would be great to have you there. Get some tools, see how you can even automate what you're doing on Clubhouse, because I know you have rooms here. Turn that into a podcast, take that into Pandora, Sirius XM, YouTube. Like, let's go global, and there's a pathway. I came to Clubhouse and I found a way, so I want to help other people get their way through, because it's not only Clubhouse that people can hear you. This is an international app, and I appreciate this app every day because you don't get to meet everyone in the same room from different places in the world at the same time. So that's why I'm here consistently, because I love to give, as well. So thank you so much for joining. Chama, passing it to you.
Good morning, Favor. Good morning, everybody in the room. Of course, I was late, but I'm glad that I actually got to come in and register for the masterclass. I'm excited about that, and I'm ready to learn more regarding AI and all of these things, all these models that could help, my business thrive, and use these tools to save time, because I really do think, just like Miss Andrea said, that time is really precious. And so I think I'm going to thoroughly enjoy the masterclass. So after teaching last night, I actually just woke up not too long ago. I taught a class on prayer last night for 4 hours. We got on at 8:30, and we didn't leave the Zoom till, actually, I looked at the time, it was 12:52. It was amazing. So I'm just really looking to go to the next level in ministry and business and be able to, implement the tools that you give us for the masterclass. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. No, that's amazing. I appreciate that. And it doesn't go in vain at all, because all these things are put up. People can listen, they can join, they can be part of it, because the spirit is one. So I really appreciate that. And it's a good thing, it's good timing. Sometimes I'm like, I don't want to be on this Clubhouse app, but I'm like, hey, you started this for a reason. And you love the app because you love the people. So show up. So that's how I do it. Sometimes it's so random, and the people who are here, because sometimes I even forget to ping people, because I'm just like, hey, I'm just here. If you're here, cool. And it's hard. It's because there's so much that happens in a day. Sometimes it's crazy, but I also am grateful that at least I can still put in some connections, 1 and 2 together, and it really works out. So thank you for joining, and congratulations on all your successes as well. Edward, would love to come to you. Question, contribution. Would love to hear your thoughts.
Hello. Yeah. First of all, I would like to thank you very much. I think what you said was very insightful, and also I appreciate how you welcomed me in. This is my first time joining. And I think what we discussed or what we learned today is very very insightful, right? Even though I haven't tried email marketing, but then I believe or I know it's very very something that is trending in our current days now. And email marketing is very 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 it's something we all need to focus on. So as I said earlier, I didn't join. I joined late, but then moving forward, I think I would really love to join and get more insight about how it works. And also, if I get a chance or I'm able to gather some funds, I would register for the course and also help me better broaden my insight. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Edward. I appreciate that. I actually want to ask you a question because this is something I've been planning to do for a while now. And this is one of my next big goals is to educate people in Africa, specifically within like, the Eastern area, the Western area, the Southern area. Of course, the whole Africa, even North Africa, but specifically in countries I can get in. So I was on a radio station in Nigeria. A lot of people want to start podcasts there and they don't have direction. And it's a burden that I'm trying to solve so that I can help people get to do podcasting from an SEO standpoint that actually shows quality. So even in Ghana, how is it in Ghana with information about podcasts, SEO, digital marketing, just these things that we're learning here? What is the market looking like?
Okay, okay. I think just like I mentioned earlier, it's something that is it's involving here. It's something that is involving, but then not really. It's not really in the market. People know about it, but then as to how they will go about it is the challenge. So trying to focus here would also be something that I think would be a great deal for everyone here. It will help a lot.
Okay. And think, do you guys have live workshops? Do you go online? How much are tickets? Like what is usually the scope? How much does someone like would invest in themselves for something like this?
Okay, so I think in everything there is a market for it because personally I work in a nanny organization in Ghana here, and people will be like, "Hey, in Ghana here, do we have service like that?" But then we have it will surprise you that we have our market. We have a lot of people that are interested in it, as well as in with the podcast and with online ticketing. I'm sure there will be a number of people that will be interested and will be willing to pay um, with some amount of money. So it all depends on how the publicity will be like in Africa or in Ghana here, to precise.
I'm already thinking about an idea for you because the company that we worked with, the nonprofit we worked with, we're in talks of starting a podcast for them so they can also get sponsorships from their show. And for you, because I'm looking at your profile for childcare and providing childcare, I can see there's, tours involved, like you have travel and there's marketing. So you can even include having access to tour guides and companies that could sponsor the show, the nonprofit, business show, have conversations. Those are the kind of things that you can start to create that people can tap into, bringing experts, and then you have those shows sponsored. I'm already thinking about those things, which we already do, but for you, that could be a source of income in a stream that could access a lot. So when people come to Ghana, for example, they want to come to where you are, they want, if they're in those industries, then they can find those resources, and then other businesses can learn from how you built your structure so that you can also be that beacon of light to now let people know, hey, you can also make money through here, create your own system, and it works. People make money off podcasts and blogs, they just don't know how, but there's a structure and it happens, it's real. So it's just the structure that you need to put together so that when you do now show up, get on radio stations, start publicizing, then it takes a whole new wheel. And that's what we're doing. So if that's something you're interested in, Edward, we'd love to, connect and just hear more about the story and then see what we can do, to help a lot of people out there that at least have access to the information first. And then with that informed decision, they can make certain steps and take some action steps that can help them better. How does that sound, Edward?
I think it sounds good. It sounds good. It sounds good. So I'm down. I'm down to that. And anytime we can get connected and make things work.
Awesome. No, thank you for that. I was giving you a follow, so I'll send you a message after this so we can follow up and connect for sure. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Empress, we would love to hear from you. Any thoughts, last thoughts that you let people know about, the whole process and where we are right now and what they should take heed to when it comes to the topic for today?
Oh, I guess when it comes to segmentation, I think for me, it really is one of the most important things you can do. It's sending relevant messages to relevant people at the right time. Otherwise, people are pretty much, as they've said before on here, they're going to ignore your emails. So I think the more personalized um, and more related to what they're looking for, or what they're searching for, or what they've got in their cart, I think the better for you, and the better for you in the long run. I know little things like um, emails that say, "Hey, you left this in your cart," um, can have significant impact on sales. So just make sure that you are being as personalized as possible.
I love that. Those abandoned carts are real. They are very, very, very real. It's like, when you think about the time that you're spending, uh, you know, with people, you think about the time, and in that time, the person that gets that email would receive it and take action on it, especially if there's a time bound, attachment to it as well. Because when something's about to expire or go, you don't need to expire and be like, oh, darn it, I should have picked that. Like, you don't want to have that shoulda, coulda, woulda expression, you know? And you can think about the goal as the objective, as if somebody's going to get that email, that email come in a way that somebody can actually understand it and then work from there. And then when they get that response, like you said, a sale could happen. It could be in the evening. They probably watched it or saw it in the morning, and they were not able to do it, at that time. But at that time that they actually saw it again, they probably had time to sit back. But maybe the time you sent it was not the best time, So that's why I'm looking at it these days as whenever the best time to send an email is the best time to send that information, because you know when they're awake, you know when they're alert, and you know when they're ready. And the platform I use, Flowdesk, I'll be diving deeper into Flowdesk in the workshop so that you can actually see it. Because these 7 tools, right? Flowdesk is one of them. That's why I'm heavy on email marketing now, because yeah, you can use it, you can do everything, but if you can't customize it to your fit or to actually create the system, because I can tell you all these tools, but what benefit is it to you for you to hear all these tools and not know how to use them? It's how to use your tools that makes your tools perform at a high capacity, high, high efficiency, high productivity. So that's what I want you to be able to see in this workshop. So thank you so much for that, Empress. That was a good one, because segmenting is really what makes those sales happen. If somebody signed up for socks and you're sending them jackets, it's not gonna work, because they didn't ask for jackets, they asked for socks. So it's those little things go a long way. That unsubscribe is probably because something happened, or maybe they're not interested, or probably they got what they wanted and they left. So don't be mad when they unsubscribe. Just know that they might come back, or if they do come back, they'll come back for a reason. If they never come back, then it was never meant to be. So don't be hard on yourself when you get unsubscribes. You should actually be happy, because you're actually cleaning your list. Some people leave their bounced emails, their unsubscribed emails, their spam emails in the same email space, because when you start getting low click rate count, low open rate count, then you're losing out on a lot of money and a lot of time, because you're getting skewed data. That's because you're sending it to, it's like trying to hit a wall, trying to open that, break that wall. You keep getting hurt every time. So if you do a spring clean, right? So clean out your list, delete the ones that are not responding, let people know what's going on. So when you have those high deliverability rates, you can actually work at a high performance, because email marketing equals speed. When I send one email, it flies like a wildfire, and we have 50% open rates plus, with a 7,000 plus list, and we're benching to 10,000 very soon, the way it's going. So we're looking at our forecast. We know, okay, by the end of this year it's going to grow. My LinkedIn, I'm low-key getting to about 9,000 followers now, and then it's gonna jump to. And my goal is to hit 10,000 before the end of the year, and I'm already doing that mid-year. So those goals I'm setting for myself is because those connections on LinkedIn have opened up partnerships that I'm building now. So LinkedIn, Clubhouse, Google, Pinterest, these are all organic places. We're not spending money on ads to run content pieces. We're just showing up with thought leadership, with the time I'm spending on here, and just giving you value. Because I know someone's going to listen to this tomorrow, next year, 2 years from now. They'll learn the information, they'll tap in, and the ones that want to take action will take action. Some people have built a whole business just listening to my podcast. I don't even have to work with them directly for them to get the tools or to get the ideas because they are action takers. Someone showed up to my podcast, listened to me on Clubhouse. We got on a podcast, we met in person. She signed up to my course. She's gone through the two courses, Pinterest and Clubhouse. Now she has a podcast show. She's launched it. Now she's being listened to in India, and she has a huge connection in India now. And she's creating these partnerships and building these brands. So it's really up to you to decide. Welcome, Derek. It's really up to you to decide what you want to do, right? With your website, with your business. I will just help you protect, earn, and scale your intellectual property, but you have the ability to tell me what you want your business to look like. That's your business. I'm only helping you put a light on it. Like think about, you have a nice jewelry in front of you. Yeah, it's shining, but if I put a light on it and I take a picture, that jewelry is going to shine even brighter because you're shedding light on it. So I've been here giving you guys light information, content, context, opportunities. When they go, they go. $47 can save you 90 days of research. If you think about the math of how much time you're spending on YouTube every day, and yet you have this whole arsenal sitting in front of you, you'll be so much in the back corner that you'll be like, what's going on? Because you want to build, you want to build, you want to build. So that's what I'll say. And I'm about to even make a call. There's a person I connected with, and she found me. She has a magazine here, and it's a great, huge magazine, and they're in over 350 locations in the U.S. and they're doing so well. So she owns that franchise, and she found me online, called me, and we got to meet in person. I didn't even get to know there was something called BlackRock, BlackRock Coffee. Not the BlackRock company, but BlackRock Coffee. I didn't know. She was like, oh, it's better than Starbucks. I'm like, what? I tasted it. I was like, yeah, I think so. Everybody has their own preference, but I got to learn something new from her. Now she has her own franchise, and it's a whole story. And long and short of that story is that I'm going to help her help businesses within the local communities elevate their brands using Pinterest so that more businesses are not just on magazines, but they're also on digital prints that they can actually get seen and our SEO expands so that, when she's having those featured magazines and having those people can connect with her and other businesses want to work. Barbershops end up there. Real estate companies end up there. Food companies end up there. It's a magazine. It's for the communities, your local area. Imagine your local digest. Oh, I didn't know there was a community theme park here. I could take my kids to this swimming pool center. Like that detail. Because sometimes we live in communities in the US, we don't even know who's our neighbor, who's in our community. We didn't even know there was a pool outside because we're just busy with work and busy with our time. Like life is life in guys. So I've come to a point where I'm like, hey, we got to wake up. If I can help one family, help two, help five, then that can help a lot of people and our economy is better for the long term. So help one, help another, and then others will help you as you go along. So that's what we're doing. And that's how I'm found online, LinkedIn, Clubhouse, and the rest is history. So I just love connecting with people. And that's why I love giving my time here on the app, whether it's one person or 10 people. It's always value in exchange because I know from this one conversation can come one client, can come one story, can come one testimonial, and then boom, something happens, and then people are connected and they learn something as they go. So yeah, I've been here for about. Hey, Carrie, good morning. I'm about to wrap up. I've been here since 7:30 a.m. Central and I've just been pouring and pouring and pouring. And I'm like, yeah, I wanted to just knock this out once and for all so I can do a TKO and, handle the next topic because I have 2025 topics. I have a whole set of topics. Like if you guys join the list, I'm going to send you a screenshot of what I put and sent out to people. It was in my Instagram story and I saved it because I spent 30 pages online actually if I say online, like let me say in the air, I had an airplane conversation with myself. And I said that in 2025, I'm not going to waste time and I'm going to start now by planning. So I created a whole 52-week calendar worth of content for 2024, 2025. And this topic you see here came from the plane because I was on the plane just writing notes, copious notes, doing strategies, and helping businesses strategically so that local businesses are not wasting time spending money on ads, influencer marketing, and not focusing on the basic things that actually give them the right fundamental values and principles for their operation. So that's what we're doing, and that's how we're doing it. So, Carrie, we'd love to hear from you, and welcome, Chris. How are you, Carrie?
Hi, Favor. I'm gonna start Flowdesk today. I tried to download it. I know. I tried to download it and I had to like up I had to upgrade my Microsoft Office or whatever the browser. So that kind of tripped me up. But I'm gonna do that, and I'm paying attention to what you're teaching. It's really really good. I'd be curious to see who this person was who reached out to you. I lost you for a second about the magazine, because I'd love to connect just based on my history of working in a magazine for so long. Um, Very cool. Get your emails and I read them. So I'm one of the people who are part of your open rate, and I'm super proud of you. So I just want to say hi.
Oh, Carrie, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Let me ask you this because I don't get this all the time. Are my emails boring? Are they like, do they have, what do they have that keeps you staying? Because I don't get this feedback all the time. And sometimes I'm like, am I sending too much? Is it too little? Like, I love honesty, and that's what keeps me going. So I'll be hard on myself for that one. So I want to pass it.
I love your emails. Um, I know you're brilliant, and I just think you do things differently. You know, you have your photograph at the end, like it for you because I can see what you look like. I think that helps, but you keep it really to the point, but like catchy, like you would be doing an intro for a podcast or something. It's like just there's like spaces in between the paragraphs. It's not too like it's just done perfectly, I think. And that's why I always look at it because I'm like, God, this is such we don't need to write war and peace. Like we just need to write something to stay connected. And I think you do like the perfect amount of wording. So that's my feedback.
Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate that feedback 100%. You know, feedback is the best currency for any business because you pay attention to those things and you're like, okay, should I do more or less? And I love that feedback. You know, I've used Flowdesk since 2019. I've never looked back. And I connected with someone on LinkedIn. Her name is Emily Marek. And she talked about, I said, hey, come to my podcast. Let's talk about it. Early days, like probably my first 5 months in podcasting, and I was just connecting on LinkedIn. I didn't have a coach, didn't have a guidance, I was just going at it. I said, whoever's going to listen is going to listen. And I just had positive thoughts after that. And then connected with her. She gave me her referral link, and I signed up with her sign up link just to thank her for connecting me. And then I use that now for all my clients. Anytime you get on board, you always have your own CRM, but we suggest Flowdesk, and they compare prices. They're like, why not? And then they end up buying the whole year plan because they're saving so much money. Why? Because Flowdesk partnered with Amazon. And when you partner with Amazon, you get high email deliverability. On top of that, what sold me for them is that I got even into their beta program. So, Kerry, if you have any questions, please let me know. I can contact the people that work at Flowdesk. If you have any questions, they have some features that are coming. Just to give you some insights, they have something called a spinning wheel, which I'm so excited about. So you know how you go on a website and you have a spinning wheel. So you have that spinning wheel, and they're creating it on Flowdesk, which was not there. They've added something called magic links. That's why I'm so big on segmenting, because if someone clicks on my email now, I know what they want. Before, I have an open rate and a click rate. Yes, it looks good, but I want to know this person likes food. This person likes clothes. This person likes events. This person likes this and that. So that way, when I resend an email, I'm not bombarding the person with the email, but I'm giving that person information they can use. So that Magic Links is coming. There's something called videos that's going to be coming too. These are all coming in the fall because we had a Zoom meeting a couple weeks back, and I was like, I'll tell my audience about this. So up here is my, link. I don't know if you've signed up yet. Carrie, and welcome Irene. Welcome back, Anisha, as well. So that's the link. You can save it up 50% for your first year. You pay as low as $19 for the year, and you have unlimited emails, unlimited subscribers, unlimited pages. It's just a smooth process. And then you have checkouts if you want to upgrade, where you can connect your Stripe account and everything is within your landing page. And then you can connect that to your website. And then, of course, the DNS records is a great thing for them too. So every platform is great, but I don't think any CRM I've met online, I've seen all of them. Like there's none that I've seen that is as good, clean, aesthetically pleasing, simple, convenient, price friendly, and sustainable as Flowdesk. Not because they're paying me to say this, but I've used them, I've tested them out for 5 years, and they've never failed. Like my click rates are going crazy from 50% to 80% on a 7,000 plus list. You don't see that every day. And then you have that resend, you can connect with people. It's beautiful. So I usually tell people, hey, try it out. Don't knock it if you don't try it. And then see, especially for you, Carrie, with podcasts and then with the magazines. I'm going to call the lady today because after I get off this call, I'm going to be talking with her because she has the magazines and we're building something for her. And she has a franchise and everything. So I'll tell you about the magazine because I want to involve my clients and also feature them on those magazines because she's looking for people. And I'm like, I have a whole list of people I can bring to you, bring their families, do photo shoots, put you in your community, set you up and get you out there and build. So yeah, I got to connect with her in person and we live in the same zip code. I was like, look at that, from digital to meeting up at Black Rock Coffee, and now we're doing business. So yeah, I'll connect you with her because she does the photography herself. So if I can connect her with someone that does photography and I connect her with you, boom, or maybe someone that's in your area. So yeah, Carrie, I will give you I don't have your number because I don't think we exchanged it when we met in Chicago, but I'll connect with you. I'll send you a message here, and then when I talk to her, we'll connect, and then I'll give you the feedback. In case she needs someone like that, I can definitely recommend you.
Okay, I think I'll look in my phone to see if I have your number because remember you had that like
Oh
digital.
yeah, pop. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
I think we do have it. But I don't even know. I'm not sure. I have to look though. Remember you did that at Creative Con?
Uh-huh. I'm actually checking it right now because I know when we met, we did that on the last day. Uh, huh. That's a good one. Okay, if I don't have it, I'll send it to you. If I have it, you'll get a text because I always connect it on my phone, but for some reason I don't know why it's not there. But I will check and then I'll come back to you for sure on that. This is great. This is great, Carrie. Let me see. I'm actually searching as we speak. So huh. That's
I already
interesting.
signed up to the link, and then now it's just saying that I have to up charge my browser or change my browser, which I'm going to do right now. And then, am I able to? I don't even know if I'd be able to import my contacts from Constant Contact, but Constant Contact is like $80 a month or even higher, and I'm just like, I just don't want to pay that anymore. I just think with all the other service charges, it's just too much.
Oh my
So,
God.
uh,
$80. I think I left Constant Contact for Flowdesk because I said I love Constant Contact. I love Aweber. I love, MailChimp, all these companies. They're great. They're amazing. They have high deliverability. They do so well. But the thing I had a problem with them, all of them, was why is it so expensive? Like, what's the cost? What's the actual cost? And when I realized that Flowdesk prioritizes on quality over cost, that's when I knew that these guys are building relationships and not just trying to make sales. Because if you have a Shopify account, you can literally connect it to your Flowdesk, and then you have a whole shoppable email list going on. It's crazy. You can import your contacts from Constant Contact to Flowdesk. I can show you how to do that, Carrie, so that you can have the whole process. You segment your emails, you color code them, you put them together. You can check your analytics, what time in the day people like to listen to your email, check your emails. You get to really get deeper into your analytics with emails. So even when you even schedule your podcast, schedule your blog, schedule your posts online, people are actually reading them because you know what time they're waking up, you know what times they're busy, you know what time they need extra time. So all those things factor in, and Flowdesk just gives you a plain, clear image. So once you upgrade and you get in, you can take off the brand, you can now white label it, do it as you want, and you can now connect your, your connect your address, connect your socials, and then you of course have you connect your DNS record, because that's going to point back to your website, because when you start sending emails, those emails are coming from those signals. So Flowdesk just makes it easy because they partner with Amazon, and it's just easy, and your click rates go way, way, way up. You get into the inbox. I'll show you how to use a platform that can test your emails so that you get into the inbox in Outlook, on Gmail, and those are the things that we can create. So yeah, welcome to Flowdesk, Carrie. You're gonna have a great time, and I'll also introduce you to people out there.
I'm so excited. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
Um, excuse me, Slow Desk, does it give you the capability to like um generate maybe a link? Does it give you like your own link so that you're able to share it with people that want to sign up for your email list? Or how does that work?
Yes, 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 yes. It does
Okay.
work. Yeah, it has the workflow. It has everything. I'm actually gonna give you guys an example of what it is. So the link you see at the top is my link to sign up, but I'll change the link because you can actually check this out. Okay, so that's the podcast link. That's one podcast link that you can see there. And then I'm gonna change it to the flow desk so that you can see the same thing. I'm trying to give you like an example of how it works. So that takes you directly into, the podcast link. That is like our top, that's our second listen to episode now. This thing has jumped up. Monetize your podcast with these 3 steps. If you notice this, a lot, and Kerry, I would love to hear your thoughts on this too after I come to you, Charmy, on this landing pages, is I realize podcast stations or podcast shows, they don't use emojis a lot, or rarely do, seldom do, because emojis have prompts, and those prompts humanize the brand. So if it's humanizing the brand, someone can see, aha, they can read monetize, they may know what the word monetize is, but when they see the actual cash emoji, that's why even Clubhouse prioritized on that, because they know what that means to the psychological framework of the marketing model. Then when you see steps, my name is there, and then the steps are there. So I'm giving you 3 steps. Then you're going to use that emoji to actually know, okay, this is an actual tutor guide. So that's why this podcast is top. It's the second most listened to podcast right now on the show. And I did this back in August, not August, and I think it was May or so. It's been a while. I can't even remember the dates. There's so many. But this is an example, right? Now, for you to even listen to this, you can listen to it in full, but let's say you want more insights and you've listened to this podcast episode, you like it. Now, this same link is coming from Flowdesk. So I created something called a form, and inside Flowdesk is a form. That form, and the Flowdesk is coming up with some new features too. When we had that meeting, they're bringing some new features which other platforms don't have, and I'm excited about where they're going with this. And I'm actually bringing one of the people that work at Flowdesk to the podcast show to talk about the platform and to talk about the success of the platform, because I've been with them for so long. Why not connect to the brand as a B2B? So this link is a Flowdesk link, and you can click on the link. It will now take you to where you can fill in the form. If you want to start a podcast, monetize, or if you want to scale it, you can choose the options. And then when you click the link, it will redirect you to another page. Once you click that link, you're going to get an email. And it works with every other platform because all email platforms do the same thing, right? That's why they're all customer relationship management tools, right? CRMs. But with Flowdesk, what I love about it is that they speed, there's convenience. The text blocks are very easy because there's something called a HTML text ratio. You know how you think about debt to income ratio? There's also something called a HTML ratio, or HTML to text ratio. In other words, how much text or how many words, because your words have pixels. The word, sorry, the letter W, the letter M, those have big pixels compared to the letter I and the letter L in small caps. Like, I'm kind of giving you guys a little bit of some science here. That's why I'm doing this room for a long time, because I know when someone listens to this room, they can get everything they want. I don't want to go over this again. That's why I'm going through this one time. So I'm greatly expanding on this. So when you use letters and words in your copy, in your email, when you think about your email has a size file, right? Your email is 48 kilobytes, 238 kilobytes. In those kilobytes have images, have text, have links. Those links have weight. Those weights have resources. So when you use Flowdesk and you're sending out light paperweight, leather featherweight content to people, it's like a helium balloon. There's no resistance. It's just going up. It's going up. It's going up because there's no resistance, right? It's kind of like defying the law of gravity because you're going up in your searches. When people receive your email, it literally bumps right into their inbox. That's the best thing you can have for your business, because some businesses, they don't even realize their DNS records are not connected. And if it's not that, a domain is called a domain name server. And in that domain name server have A records, TXT records, CNAME records, MX records, which is mail exchange records. Those records are important for email deliverability. It's a little techy, but Flowdesk makes it easy, right? And you're able to just connect these things. You can either automatically connect it, and that's why I love Flowdesk. You don't have to go to the copy and pasting. I love doing it myself because I'm nerdy like that. I would do it for the client and show them how to do it, but I'll show them, hey, here's the automatic way of doing it in case you want to open it up again. If you have a second business, here's a formula. So when you connect those things, then your Flowdesk now becomes your pipeline. If you have books, you can upload your Google Drive file, put the link in there. Somebody makes a payment, they get redirected to your Google Drive file, they download the PDF. It's gold. You don't need to build a website to have an asset. Your asset is your property, which you already own, which is your books, your text, your PDFs, your articles, your podcasts, your audio files, your video files. All those things are assets. So creatively, you're creating an asset on ground that if someone connects with you and connects with you through this platform, you get an email, hey, this person signed up, this person signed up. Then you start to connect with them faster. When you start connecting with them at a faster rate, what starts to happen is they listen to your podcast. And for me, just sending emails, sending a person a podcast episode and a blog episode are the best things you can do for your business whenever you're connecting with people, because no one's ever going to tell you stop sending me podcast episodes. No one's going to tell you stop sending me resources. No one's going to tell you stop sending me blog posts unless it's not related to them. Then they can unsubscribe. But if they subscribe, there's a reason why they're still there. So Flowdesk can definitely do that, and it can give you a lot just for a little bit. If you're spending $19 a month, 50% off the first year, and you're sending unlimited emails, think about how much you're spending a month. Like Kerry said, she spends $80 a month. Like half of that value you can pay for the year on Flowdesk. And then you don't have to worry about sending emails or paying money again. Now you're focusing on the people because now you're not thinking about the overhead costs. So I eliminate that stress, but it comes with a cost. But with that, that's how you can easily be able to connect. So Flowdesk is where it's at. I've been there. I'm not leaving. It's getting better. And they're doing so much better than others from what I see. And they're also kind of like underrated because no one talks about them much. But when you know what's right and you can do good, then you can make it happen. So, what are your thoughts on that, Chama? Did that help you?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
You are welcome. You're welcome. So, I'm glad I was able to share this with y'all today. What you see at the top is a PGA, the Podcast Growth Academy, and we're about to switch our models. That's why I've been using this medium, because I noticed that people do listen. So I don't want to assume people are not listening when I show up on podcasts and I show up on social media, because sometimes I'm like, no one's listening to me. I used to do that in my first year of podcasting. Like, is this mic on? Hello? And then I realized we're actually here. And I said, yeah, I have to start changing my thought process. So what we're doing now as we wrap up this room is today is July 25th. And by the end of this month, what we're doing now with our clients, we used to have 3 packages. Now we're introducing a fourth one because we realized that a lot of people need to lift themselves off the ground, and a lot of people are having problems getting into that market. So we've created a lift off package, right? that lift off package, and we're testing it out, and it's been really going well this week. And we're going to send some updates as well, so that if you get it before the end of the month, you can lock it in. But we've realized after you receive a file, you have 7 days to fulfill it. After 7 days, it expires, because we don't want to waste people's time. And we've gone through a lot of experiences, 10 years in business now, to just realize, hey, if we need to make an impact happens fast. When an explosion happens, when a bomb happens, when something happens, it happens fast. So when you want to make business, when you have a website, it needs to be fast. The faster your website, the faster the checkout. So for you to have a faster process, we need to create a fast system. So now with my team, we've said, hey, if anyone signs up, we let people know, hey, these guys have signed up. We're going to do their research in 7 days. If they don't get back to us, we'll send emails. If they don't receive it, if they don't respond back, boom, on to the next, because we don't want to waste your time sending you another email when you're not ready. So that way, within 7 days of talking, after 15 minutes, I now know for the next 7 days what you're going to decide on. You can call me, text me, connect with me, email me, but on a call, on a Zoom call, that's not going to happen twice, for free. So it allows us to be very systematic with our process, so that when we now show up online and on Zoom, every minute counts. So that strategy you're going to apply it. And we've done it in a way where you're going to pay for an hour a month, 2 hours a month, 4 hours a month, or 8 hours a month. Everything in between those times is all process, operations, systems, because we want you to have an operating system as a business. You can't be a business owner and working on your business. You have to let your business run so that you can do other things, take care of your family, take care of things that are important to your life, that I want you to take care of as well, because this is important as well as what you're taking care of. So if it's an investment, you have to think like an investment, not as an expense. And that's what we've been doing, and it's so beneficial, because I think I burnt out on hours. I hit about 400 hours. I was looking at my calculator. I was like, 400 hours on Zoom, that's not healthy. I missed out on so many parties, so many friends, things, so many things. And I'm like, yeah, it's all good, but then I feel like you're always working. I'm like, yeah, but now I want to spend time with people and still help others. So it means dividing time in half and multiplying the impact. That's what I've been doing all year. And now we just kicked off a new podcast yesterday. We're about to kick off another one today. It's just growing and growing and growing. And I'm like, yeah, thank God people are here. So it's just a matter of time. It's God's time is the best. And I just love to show up and show out for people who need the help, so that they don't feel like they're stuck, because I was stuck when I started and no one had a helping hand. So I had to help myself. Most things I've done for myself, taught myself how to cook, taught myself how to play the drums, taught myself how to play soccer, taught myself how to do SEO. I've taught myself how to do a lot of things. I'm a kinesthetic learner. So I learn from people, I learn from experiences, and I also learn from myself. So that's what keeps me going. And I'm excited that you guys are all here to share this with me. So I've been here. I don't think I've done a room this long. It's been almost 3 hours. So I'm glad that you're here. It's Andrea, Chioma, Carrie, Edward. Thanks for joining us all the way from Ghana. Derek, Chris, Anisha, Austin, Cameron, Badly, Hand, Ty, and Bezat. Appreciate you all. Austin, we got to talk about what you got, because a lot of people need your help. So we got to talk soon, and we'll come up with some rooms on that as well. Austin is an amazing person. So thanks so much, everyone, for being here. And I hope you have a blessed day. God bless you all, and enjoy your Thursday. And I'm going to see y'all in the streets.